Mark Rasciuto, 200 games. What a magnificent player. He's about to toss the coin with Anthony Stevens. And he's lost the toss, so he hasn't won that on his 200th game. And joining us in commentary, a warm welcome to Kim Dillon.
Thank you, Matthew, and good to see Mark Rasciuto notching up his 200th game. He's only 26 years of age. He made his debut back in 1993 against Hawthorn, and we saw some highlights there. That game was round 3 last year at Optus Oval when he absolutely took Carlton on head-on and came out a big winner.
Well, Adelaide's midfield, we know they're very good. We know there's McLeod, and we know there's Goodwin, we know there's Rasciuto, but let's take a look at the back line, Russell.
Okay, Rocker up forward. Hopefully he can kick a few goals this afternoon for them.
Well, Bassett's had some big jobs. He's defeated Barry Hall and he took Trent Croad apart last week, so he's in good form.
And got Porter maybe starting at centre-half forward. It'll be interesting to see if he does that.
Yes, it will be, and interesting to see also Tyson Edwards on a half-back flank. He kicked 5-1 last week up forward.
We've got Cochrane, Harris and Stevens across the centre line. Big game here for the captain, Stevens.
And good to see Johnson back as well after 2 weeks out with a hamstring injury. He's a class act.
Lee Colbert got a big job here this afternoon, and hopefully he can play one of his better games. And you've got, of course, that tough man Glenn Archer.
And Mark Stevens beaten by Matthew Pavlich last week, but he'll bounce back.
We have Makepeace, McCartney and Baird up back on the last back line.
And Scotty Welsh, the leading goal kicker for the Adelaide Crows, with 17 so far this year.
Here we have the engine room, Burton, Simpson and Robbins. Maybe Simpson, Mike, over we go.
Well, we've had a look at the teams and we're having a look at them in action now as Teague gets it forward for the Kangaroos. It's the round 8 clash here at Manuka. Desperate game for the Kangaroos. Stevens, first positive possession. Rocker, got it! Just the start the Kangaroos were looking for.
I tell you, that was set right from the first bounce. And quick movement of the ball through Stevens down to Rocker. And this is exactly what Dennis Pagan would be hoping for. Very positive, proactive start.
Just the 1 goal last week against the West Coast Eagles. 16 goals, 8 coming into this game. Sitting 8th on the goal kicking list. No mistake from point blank range. First blood to the Kangaroos.
As I mentioned before, that was a great bit of start. I mean, they couldn't have asked for anything better than that.
As we welcome once again Rod Jamieson down on the boundary.
Yep, thanks, Kim. Yet weather conditions are probably going to get worse before they get better down here. It's very, very chilly, but soft underfoot. No wind favouring either end of ground, so all okay in that area. Dennis Pagan, true to his word. Kangaroos, Grant, King, Harvey and Pickett on the bench. Adelaide, Massey, Nelson, Burton and Marsh.
The ball back centre field, thanks for that, Jamo. Matthew Clark about to do battle with Matthew Burton, all 210 centimetres of him. The biggest man playing AFL football, back in the centre. Clark gets a nice run in. Burton won the tap. Trying to push it forward was Clark again. Clayton was good to get out the quick handball. The Kangaroos go forward. Bassett dropped what he should have taken, but he'll pick up a free kick, though, on the half-back flank in front of the members' stand. And, of course, this is the Sir Donald Bradman stand here at Manuka Oval. Nathan Bassett has been in very good form of late. He took apart Trent Croad last week, who kicked 7 last night for the Dockers. He goes laterally and finds Perry. Perry kicked 5 at centre-half forward last year in round 20 against the Kangaroos. And there's a strong mark by the magic man, Andrew McLeod. We'll pick up who's on him shortly. Russell Green will take care of that. The ball comes off hands. Goodwin was very quick to get it to Matthew Bode, starting on the ground this afternoon. Puts it up to centre-half forward. Stenglein was underneath it. Quick give, goes back out towards John Cock. John Cock puts it inside 50 to Rasciuto, playing his 200th game. He socketed off the ground. It went as far as Teague, and Colbert will clear, but not convincingly.
Back inside their forward 50, Adelaide. Looking for Stevens. Boundary may beat him. He does keep it in. Goes back. Doughty. Short kick. Won't be 15. Doesn't matter if McLeod's near the ball. His kick's going to be chopped off. Here's Burton at ground level. Pushing the ball back towards centre wing. Digby Morrell. Right with him, Bassett. Bassett, ever the defender, searching for the boundary line and gets it.
Troy Makepeace is the lucky fellow who's got McLeod this afternoon. And look, he's got a few scalps over the course of the year, and he will give 100%.
He may have to give a little bit more. Andrew McLeod is red hot at the moment, no doubt about that. Smart tried to do the ruck work. The ball came down towards Stenglein. Strong work by Archer at ground level. And at the bottom of the pack there, the umpire blows the whistle. And we'll have another ball up.
Dennis
I can tell you umpires officiating today: number 4, Chris Mitchell; number 7, Hayden Kennedy; and number 27, Michael Avon.
Dennis Pagan has promised a red-hot go this afternoon. So far, the Roos have lived up to that.
And they haven't made an interchange yet, Russell. Some of his stars still sitting on the bench. Well, there's a start. Stevens with another possession towards Morrell. Good body work from Bassett. McLeod just went without it. That's what Dennis Pagan's looking for. Perhaps not that from Morrell. Slaps it back out. They force it forward. Robbins went to ground. Colbert. A chance for Edwards. Career best 5 goals last week. It falls to Simpson. Player down behind play. That's Colbert. And there's a free kick being picked out by Michael Avon. It's going to the Kangaroos.
Sorry, Archer's attack on the ball then was just first class. Not just his first effort, but his second effort.
And Mark Rasciuto just making his presence felt inside the forward 50. Cochrane now running. Gets past. Decides to go long. Rocker coming. Smart right with him. Rocker, 1 try, no. Morrell in the right spot. Lovely quick hands to Clayton. That may bounce through. They need a bit of luck, the Kangaroos. They won't get it. Just to behind is Shane Clayton.
So that was perfect roving by Morrell. He's not a rove, he's a big fella. But that front and square position then, and then the quick hands, actually deserved a little bit better than the actual end result.
Ben Hart in game number 232, debuted back in 1992, 3-time All-Australian, a real class act. Goes for the short pass, and was it accurate? Or did we put the mocker on him? I think we did. It went over the line. Perry completed the mark, but not in time, and Cochrane will take the free kick. Now, he's only about 45 out. He's on a pretty tight angle, so he places the ball to the hot spot, and Burton sets himself. Now the ball punched forward. It goes back out to Clayton. He has another crack at it. This time he's accurate. So he has a personal tally of 1-1, and the Roos looking pretty good in the opening 5 minutes here at Manuka Oval.
Well, that was an intelligent kick right to the hot spot, and bang, if you can kick it there, and you've got blokes milling around the ball, you've got more than a good opportunity to kick a goal, as we can see here. Front and centre, bang, true result. It's interesting to see young Bode who's trying to run with Anthony Stevens from the Kangaroos this afternoon. Be a big job for him.
Good start by the Kangaroos, are back in the middle. They have the numbers here. Oh, perhaps held without it there. Perhaps an Adelaide free kick. Coming in was Tyson Stengline. That player who was held was, of course, the former skipper in Mark Bickley. There you have it. Rod Jamieson enjoying his boundary work this afternoon. Just 9 degrees. And if the sun disappears, it gets very cold very quickly.
It drops about 4 degrees instantly.
It sure does. Clark with Burton. Neither of them getting near that bounce. Plenty of players around the ball, as you can see, and we'll have a replay. So just over 15 minutes remaining. Kangaroos 13. Adelaide yet to score.
The attack on the ball before by Bickley was just first class. I mean, for a bloke who's played well over 200 games, he's just as desperate as he always has been.
No doubt about that, Russell. One of the best second effort players in the business. Clark got up high. The tackle, was it in the back? Yes, it was, according to the umpire. And the free kick will be taken by the skipper in Anthony Stevens. He's on the defensive side of the members' wing. That's illegal, Mark Stevens. You cannot come from behind the man who has the free kick. He smothered it off the boot, and there is 50 metres, and this could almost be a certain goal. Gee, you'd think, Russell, a man that's been around for 100 games nearly, would perhaps know a little bit better than that.
Yeah, that was unforgivable, really. I mean, as you mentioned, over 100 games.
It's one of those 50-50 ones sometimes. In his mind, he thought he'd played on. If he plays on, you can come from behind.
You certainly can, but the umpire didn't call it. 94 games, in fact, Mark Stevens. So I'm sure he won't do it again. Anthony Stevens lines up from right on 50. The left footer looks like he may have dragged it. So they're offline, but they've kicked 2 goals, 2 now, and Adelaide yet to get on the board, and they've only gone inside 50 on one occasion.
Dennis mentioned that the Roos were going to have a red-hot go, but I'll tell you what, Adelaide are very hard at the ball also. It's also interesting to see that Goodwin is being tagged by young David Teague.
Hart goes to the outer side, long. Should suit the Kangaroos. They had the numbers and the height. It was either Porter or Rocker. Rocker obliged. Now sends it back to where it came. Harding over the top. Has he got that? He has. Clever player Lee Harding. Did some useful things when he came on for the Kangaroos last week. And he's kicked some goals this season. He's kicked 7 goals, 5. Just his 9th game of AFL footy, and it was a good take over the top of Nigel Smart.
the games I've seen him play, I mean, he's a live wire. He keeps moving, keeps presenting himself, and he can get front and centre. And as you mentioned, he has kicked quite a few goals so far this season.
Harding for the third goal for the Kangaroos. Doesn't look confident, and it's a poor kick. He'll be very disappointed with that result. But from the Kangaroos' point of view, Russell, it's all down this end at the moment.
It is, and they are attacking 100%. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, unfolds the next couple of minutes.
Well, they notoriously get off to slow starts in season 2002, the Kangaroos. They've only won two first quarters out of the 7 so far. Adelaide trying to work it out of defence. Bassett popped himself under a little bit of pressure, but the kick is good to find Johncock on the outer side. Been a revelation, this lad. He is an excitement machine, in for a big future. Kicks it along. Up high there was Porter. Couldn't take the grab. At ground level, Colbert got the handball out. Fisted forward. Opportunity again for Cochrane. Close to the boundary line. Johncock there. Teagan opportunity, but the ball over the line. We're at the 8-minute mark, and Adelaide yet to get on the board. And conversely, boys, interesting, Adelaide normally get off to a flyer. They've won 5 of their first 7 quarters this season.
Good one. Teagan there for the Kangaroos. Bickley on top of Robbins with a bit of a wrestle. First time at Manuka Oval for this season. A couple of games for the season 2002. And the Kangaroos are hard at it. Dennis Pagan promised a contest, promised there'd be some reaction to some adversity. Dowdy up the boundary. Miraculously, the ball stays in. And good pace from Makepeace. Makepeace made pace.
We have seen, particularly earlier on in the year, Matthew, that under adversity, the North Melbourne, the Roos, do actually play quite good footy, and maybe we're seeing something similar to that this afternoon.
And there is Makepeace now. He's coming off, I would suggest, for the blood rule.
Well, that'll be interesting because he's...
There's a little cut there on the thigh.
He's running with McLeod, so it'll be interesting with this matchup now. Maybe King will go straight to him, or maybe Simpson will take over.
David King onto the ground, Russell, and it's a big ground too. It's wide. The measurements exactly the same as the MCG, I'm led to believe, but 2 metres longer. As we take a look at the reverse angle shot, and Adelaide desperate to get on the board because it's been all the Kangaroos in the opening stages of this game here at Manuka Oval. Big fist away, and a free kick's been given, and the recipient will be Spider Burton. Amazing player for such a big man. He's a cult figure for Kangaroo supporters. He's pretty good at ground level for a man so tall. Puts it up towards centre half forward. From behind Hart, he was the destroyer. Johnson was good, got it back to Bassett, threw it onto the left boot. The kick goes up towards centre half forward. Opportunity now for Welsh, having a tremendous season. The left-handed handball, not a good one. Puts Stenglein under pressure. Welsh butters up again, back to Kane Johnson. Great smother by Anthony Stevens. Tyson Edwards goes through with the right boot, puts it up to McLeod. He couldn't take it, going through Harris. Good approach at the football, and eventually a strong tackle there. And the umpire will bounce about 60 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Well, we said about 10 minutes so far. There's 2 of them on, Harvey and King.
Hang on, you said 3.5 minutes.
No, I changed that to 10 minutes, Matthew.
Yeah, he did say 10, Matty. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I got lost. He threw up so many numbers. Ball up just outside the Adelaide Ford 50. A chance now for Johnson. Clever handball to Bode. Running Welsh. Loves to kick goals, Scott Welsh. Beautiful goal by the Crows. Wonderful team play. Scott Welsh has got there first.
Well, that was a sensational play then. They had support on the outside each time one of the boys went to get the footy. And as we can see here, quick hands, another set of quick hands. First bloke without pressure in that position should kick for goal, and he did, and he kicked truly.
That would bring some joy to Gary Ayres' face, looking a little concerned. We've gone nearly 13 minutes. Adelaide have kicked their first goal courtesy of Scott Welsh, but there's been an infringement in the centre square, so Big Spider will take the ball and receive the free kick. The handball goes out towards Baird. He drives it inside 50. Rocker front position. Smart just got there for the spoil. Quick give out to Anthony Stevens, and he's bounced one through. Well, that is a quick reply. The Kangaroos move along to 3-3-21. Adelaide, one straight goal.
Just in both of those instances, Russell, we've seen really quick hands at one at a ball up and another at the contest at front centre. Just quick gives to a player running past. Here it is here. Look at that. That's wonderful.
I mean, if you can get first use of the ball and flip it up as quickly as that, you're always going to give that bloke who's free with the footy an opportunity to lay it off in the pro. And that was just a great piece of play. But that all started back here on the half-back line when Baird went up the ground. His man didn't follow him. I mean, it's just unforgivable if a forward doesn't chase and harass his backman.
3-3 to 1 goal. 11.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Clark over the top. Robbins doesn't get much on that. Simpson over the top. And has that one gone 15? I don't think so. It's play on. Harvey had an influence as he's come on straight away. 2 quick handballs. Edwards got to get through a couple, does so. Stengline, here's Johnson. Leading is Rashudo, but he's got to beat a couple. And McCartney, who on a losing side last week, held Wilson to a goal, who was very good, takes the mark. Provides the shepherd as Baird breaks free once again. Robbins shepherding. Good decision by umpire Hayden Kennedy. Shepherding nobody, and the ball wasn't within 5 metres. Bickley switches play. Doughty got a player in the lead, running hard and finds him well. Stevens dropped a sitter. Colbert wants to wrap it up. Clayton under pressure, good pressure too from Benny Hart, and it'll be a ball up just outside the Adelaide Crows 50. Crowd still coming in, a smallish crowd. They're braving the conditions.
And Mark Stevens, that was one he should have eaten. I mentioned earlier, had a quiet one last week against Matthew Pavlich. Prior to that, he's been in good form, but that was a bad miss. Number of players at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will do it all over again. The Kangaroos 3-3. They've got off to a good start. Adelaide just the 1 goal, courtesy of Scott Welsh. A couple of interesting matchups. We see young Daniel Harris. He's running with Kane Johnson. Clark wins the tap, tried to get it down to Bode, couldn't do so effectively. At the bottom of the pack there, working hard, is Johnson again. Surely the umpire will blow the whistle, and he does.
It's interesting to see also that King has taken over from Makepeace and is running with McLeod.
Well, he's got a good strike rate against Adelaide. David King. He's had many a good game over the years. Clark got up high. Burton won the tap. At ground level at Stengline. Tried with a quick give. Gee, they're hard at it, the Kangaroos, at the moment. The ball goes back towards McLeod. Drives it inside 50. Big lead from Fitzgerald. Picked up by Rashuto. And I think he's kept it. He has. Mark Rashuto, game number 200, and that would put a smile to his dial at the moment. It's taken 16 minutes, but he's a dangerous man up forward, Russell, and he scouts the packs well.
He is. I mean, not only he's been a great player for so long, that he was intelligent, he stayed down, he knew he didn't have to fly for the ball. Archer just got past the ball a little bit, over it came, and he kicked truly. Been a great player for a long time.
Celebrating his 200th game, just his 4th goal for the season. And he is playing up forward at the moment as Pickett and Grant still wait their turn in this revised Kangaroos bench. Crows back to within 9 points. Burton with some confidence. Long handball. Harvey, little nudge in the back. Seen by the umpire. Umpire Mitchell. And the Crows will switch to Hart. Plenty of space for Ben Hart to run into. And he's got Rashuto on a long lead, needs to make it, can't. Archer right with him, falls to the back for Stevens. He'll go off the ground, he has an airy. Colbert loses it, it falls back to Stevens. Rashuto tries to keep it alive, but he can't. Ball in.
Well, that's 2 opportunities, Mark. So, almost 10 out of 10 opportunities. I mean, he would have caught the one before, marked it, and the one off the ground there, unfortunately for the Crows and Mark Stevens. He didn't make contact with the ball.
Throw in the right forward pocket. Burton takes front position. Over the top was Fitzgerald. Got it down towards Johnson. Quick snap towards goal, but he's offline. And it's a minor score. Adelaide now move along to 2-1-13. The Kangaroos 3-3-21. And we've had about 18 minutes of the first term here at Manuka Oval. As we mentioned, nippy conditions, around 8 or 9 degrees. And when that sun disappears, it gets down to about 5 or 6 very quickly. David King to bring the ball back into play. Nice looking kick, went for plenty of distance. Colbert was the target along with Burton. Punched away though by Clark, picked up by McLeod, out towards Kane Johnson, tried to hook it around his body and did so brilliantly to find Welsh.
McLeod's acceleration from that loose ball, not many players would have got first use of that. That was acceleration that I don't think any other AFL player has, and that's what makes him such a dangerous player.
Well, Scotty Welsh is the money man. He would be the most accurate kick in the Adelaide Crows lineup. He's kicked 18 goals, 7 so far for the season. He's kicking from about 48 metres. And he is normally very, very good. And that is another good kick. He's kicked his second.
Just getting back to McLeod's effort, as I mentioned before, we all know he's an elite player. And for him to do that type of stuff just gives your forwards first opportunity, as we see here.
Just off a long kick sometimes, it's dangerous. You get depth, but it's often easy for the other side to punch back and to be in the right spot.
Disciplined sides will punch the ball back into their attacking 50, which we saw then, and McLeod was absolutely brilliant, and we see a goal.
2 goals to Scott Welsh, and we'll go down to the boundary with Rod Jamieson.
Yeah, thank you, Matty. Look, Mark Rasciuto spending a fair bit of time up at full forward. The Kangaroos are, after a solid week on the track, quite physical, but Adelaide just slowly working them well into it now.
Yes, they're 2 points down at the moment, and they're trying to get possession through Matthew Bode. King, well done, Edwards. Clever. Back to Hart. Just checked his kick right at the last minute. Great courage from Teague, but it falls to Johnson. He spots Goodwin. He's within range. Goodwin's kick just doesn't get the distance he was looking for. So that'll be a free kick or out of bounds on the full. And another change as Byron Pickett comes on with Shannon Grant. So the big 4 are all on now as Russell checks his watch. They're all on. Makepeace has the ball.
He certainly has. Daniel Harris coming off the ground along with Digby Morrell. There's a good kick, and it goes in the direction there of Lee Harding, a promising young player. Measures the kick, short pass looking for Pickett. Not a good one. It'll be a test of courage. He always passes those. Stevens did well. Got it back to John Cock. In turn to Perry. They have the numbers, but the handball was poor. Harvey picks it up. He goes to an unprotected goal. He'll need a lucky bounce, and he doesn't get one. He received a stinker, so it's a race for pace on the outer side, and the veteran in Bickley soccers it off the ground and temporarily gets the ball out of the danger zone. Mark Bickley having a sensational season, leading the possessions for Adelaide.
Just on that, Kim, you watch Adelaide quite a bit. He's decided to retire. Surely he'll reconsider.
Well, there's a lot of people that want him to play on. He's averaging 23 possessions for the season, and as I mentioned, he's in sensational form, and he's one of the best second effort players around. And I think you're a long time out of the game, and he's certainly not being carried at this stage of his career.
It'd be, if not McLeod, he's certainly the best player for the season.
Yeah, and the other player that's been in sensational form as well, that they've been talking about retirement, is Nigel Smart. Now, Clark got up high, fisted it towards the boundary line. An opportunity there for Doughty. He couldn't take it, and the ball out of play about 55 away from the Kangaroos goal.
Just getting back to that Bickley thing, I mean, there's no pressure on him. He just wants to go out there and enjoy his last footy. Maybe that's why he's playing so well. He's just enjoying it so much.
Well, here's Clark trying to enjoy his football, but that's not where he likes to be, down at the bottom of the pack. Hart, good release. Simpson, though, swooped on it. Standing in the way, John Cock. Quick switch by the Crows. Bassett. Perry runs for him. Measured kick. Just misses the target. Got to beat 2. Clayton with good pace. Excellent work by Clayton. Opens up Harvey. Oh, Nigel Smart got in the way. Good smother on the up Pickett. Clayton got to beat Bassett. Goalkeeping effort there by Rasciuto. Players going in from both sides at the moment. Rasciuto got it back. Perry, the old 1-2. Well worked by the Crows. Played down in back play. And a good mark to Baird.
That last contest, Archer's, I can't actually pick up the young Adelaide boy down, but Archer.
Young John Cock.
John Cock. Tell you what, did Archer go 100 miles an hour?
As he always does. The Kangaroos move forward up towards centre half forward. Stenglein with a quick give, but doing some good work there was Lee Harding to intercept. Rasciuto crashes through the left-handed handball at the feet of Bickley. He was equal to that, puts it up for Fitzgerald. 1 grab, 2 grabs, and he needs to take some grabs. He's been a quiet player in recent weeks. He's only managed 2 points in the last 2 games. And bad news there for young Johncock. We'll get an update on that shortly from Rod Jamieson. But it looks like he's coming off the ground, and it looks like he's damaged his right arm rather severely. Ryan Fitzgerald had a couple of years with the Sydney Swans, a former South Adelaide player in the SANFL, had an horrific run of injury whilst he was with the Swans. Great expectations on him this year, perhaps too many. Only playing his 18th game of league football, and he's hooked that one, and that's what he does every time. He kicks across his body, and that one's out of bounds on the full.
It was a duck hook.
Yeah, he's got a problem with that, no doubt about that, as we see Johncock coming off and Massey about to come on, the former Calvin player.
21 plays 19, just under 5 minutes remaining. Colbert. Long kick. In front was Simpson. Stevens getting some possessions. Burton is target. Perry reads it better. Ball. Need a crummer. Kangaroos don't have one. Hart. Back to Stevens in the centre of the ground. Johncock just in a bit of pain at the moment. Stevens, he went for Harvey. A marking option not often used by the Kangaroos, and a very clever mark.
It was a very clever mark, and I think he made it look, I mean, it was extremely hard mark to take, but I don't think Stevens was actually going for it. I think he was going for the longer option, maybe in Rocker. But he miskicked it, and young Harvey's the recipient, and hopefully he can kick truly for the Roos, because they do need it, because Adelaide have really put the screws on the last 5 or so minutes.
Well, he's come off the bench, and this will be his 4th possession, and he's kicking for the Kangaroos' 4th goal. He is a goal kicker, doesn't miss too many. He hasn't missed that one. Goal to Harvey. So a goal to Harvey, and, well, I guess the tactic that's been used so far by Pagan is working, because we've seen the players that start on the bench, in particular Harvey, have an effect on the game.
Instantaneous effect, as you mentioned. That's his 4th touch since he's been on, and I tell you what, that was great work by Spider Burton in the 10-yard square to enable the ball to go through.
Kangaroos with an 8-point advantage. We'll go down to Rod Jamieson for an update.
Byron Pickett, when he's attacked, when he came on running with a flight, was outstanding. Glenn Archie, you never sort of question what he is, but he would just hit through the ball. Graham Johncock seems to be okay, just a little shaken.
27 plays 19, the ball back centre field. Anthony Stevens leading from the front. 6 possessions already for the Kangaroos, but the Crows go forward in the dying minutes. T cuts it off at the pass, though. Measures the kick, and it's a good one. Oh, put King under the pump, but he stood his ground, and he picks up a free kick for a high and late tackle. David King on the outer wing as the sun shines here at Manuka Oval. Chilly conditions, but I tell you what, when the sun's out, it is a lot better. There's the kick up towards centre half forward. Sav Rocker from behind, couldn't take it. Welsh, in fact, it was bowed at ground level, couldn't get the kick away. Shannon Grant has a pop shot at goal, but he's offline, and it's another minor score. So that's 8 scoring shots to the Kangaroos. They move along to 4-4-28. Adelaide 3-1-19, and it's been a good start by the Roos, Russell.
It has been a fine start. Actually, both sides, as both coaches mentioned, were going to have a crack at it, and they are doing exactly that.
Bassett to the outer side. Rocker came over the top. He had the height advantage. Ricocheting off Harding, trying to keep it alive, does so cleverly. Then deep into the danger zone. Where are the Flyers? Digby Burrell comes to ground level. Bassett, oh, well done. Just bangs it out off the ground, out of the air. He got 40 metres with it. Clark with a searching handball. Finds the run of Bode through the middle. The Crows promising. Fitzgerald's got to beat 2. Over the back, McCartney. The dangerous McLeod approaches. McCartney, ever defensive, relieving some pressure.
I tell you what, there's not much space out there. Every time we get the footy, either by hand or by foot, you've got about 3 or 4 blokes hanging off you on both sides. And it's a great contest so far.
Jason McCartney playing his 100th game for the Kangaroos, and 175 all up. He's etched out a pretty useful career with Adelaide, first with Collingwood, then Adelaide, and I think he's found his niche at the Kangaroos. The Crows go forward again. McLeod underneath it. Good defensive spoil. Now at ground level. McLeod picks it up again. Will he feed it off? He tries to weave a bit of magic. Now goes back with the handball. Finds a teammate in Rashuto. Already kicked one just inside 50. Puts it in long. Back underneath it was Fitzgerald. Good spoil there. Makepeace chases the ball, but the ball out of play in the right forward pocket. 28 plays 19. And as many people predicted, Dennis Pagan read the riot act. But no one really thought that he was going to put all those players on the interchange bench, but he did, and it's paid dividends. Good one, quick kick away, but the mark's been taken by McCartney.
In good form at the moment, McCartney. That's 3 times in the last 2 minutes. He's been very good on the last line of defence. Colbert with some space, trying to draw Stevens, so Stevens could run. And this is Anthony. Poor kick, and an easy mark for Nigel Smart. Equal games record holder with Mark Bickley. Clever tap by Perry. Crows promising. Once again, Stevens missed Doughty though with the give. Goes to ground. Anthony Stevens. That was very clever. Kicked it to himself and then just worked it up the boundary. They've kept it in. Digby Morrell from 70 metres gets a good shepherd and kicks towards Archer on the lead. Archer's got to beat Massey. Goes to ground. Bassett. Well, that was quick lightning hands from Bassett. He's been pretty impressive at that end. We talk about McCartney at one end. Bassett's doing some good work for the Adelaide Crows in defence at the other.
And in the middle, Anthony Stevens, 8 possessions now, and he is playing a mighty game, leading from the front. Throw in just inside 50. Matthew Clark took it. Quick hands to get it down to Kane Johnson. Likewise, Goodwin trying to get it to Bassett. Wobbly old kick away, and fortune favours the brave because that wasn't good management, but Doughty took the mark. Kane Johnson now 2 against 1. Welsh outnumbered. Baird did well with the body. Colbert ducked the head. Good handball out to Baird. Has a bit of composure, the young fella, and just spots up the captain for possession number 9. Now Simpson with a wobbly screw punt kick. They're nearly inside 50. Morrell takes it again, another handball. They go forward through King, another mongrel punt, and the crumbs are taken by Massey. Quick feed to Bassett, now out to Bode, and Adelaide out of trouble on the outer side.
And that's very uncharacteristic for Stevens and King both to kick mongrel torpedoes down there. Low percentage kicks.
Yeah, they've taken inside their 50 13 times apiece, so both sides have had a chance. 9 points in the dying seconds of the first quarter. Adelaide will need to be quick. Once again, Doughty to Johnson through the middle. Need a mark. McLeod. What can he manufacture? Stevens gives it to him now. The siren beats Rashudo, who had 2 players to his right. And he had Ben Hart and also Chris Massey. So it was a promising attack for the Adelaide Crows. But at the end of this first quarter, it's the Kangaroos, 4-4-28. They lead the Adelaide Crows 3-1-19 from Monica Oval.
Weekend's over. Win, lose or draw. The place to see how your team fared is on The Winners.
Welcome to The Winners, where you give us 60 minutes and we give you the weekend in AFL.
That was one of the inspired wins of the club history.
Got to learn to play basketball at Colonial.
Join Clinton Graves for every winning kick, mark and goal of the round. That's on The Winners tonight at 7:30.
Introducing the special edition Pulsar Plus. Australia's best-selling small sedan is now even better value. Because with a Pulsar Plus you get air conditioning, plus airbag, plus keyless entry, plus CD player, plus alloy wheels, plus a rear spoiler. We challenge you to find better value. The special edition Pulsar Plus. It's just full of pluses.
Harvey Norman breaks the price barrier with this huge 107cm plasma widescreen. Don't pay $12,999 for $11,999 or $10,999. At Harvey Norman, you can now buy an LG 107cm plasma screen for just $9,999. That's right, $9,999. And we'll throw in a DVD player at no extra cost. The LG plasma screen can be wall or stand mounted and is digital TV ready. At $9,999 with bonus DVD player, the future is yours.
Believe in each other. You know, we believe we can win.
Dedicated to its supporters, passionate.
Very passionate, very vocal.
Family team.
With the crowds involved, the side really lifts.
It's a great time to be part of the club.
We've got a great history and a great young side. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I want to be part of it.
Will you be part of it? Call us.
pushing the limits of endurance. 14 challenging stages over 11 unrelenting months. The World Rally Championship, right here, where the game never ends.
Tuesday, there's something to crow about on Fox Footy Channel with Crow Zone.
I've got a lot of confidence in the guys. It's an absolute madhouse. Go the Crows.
So don't get in a flap. Tune into Crow Zone, Tuesday, 6 p.m, Fox Footy Channel.
Yes, and welcome back to Monica Oval here in Canberra. An entertaining first quarter. The Kangaroos are leading by just the 9 points. And it is a very, very cool day at Canberra, but some good football in that first quarter, Russell, and some very quick hands.
Oh, look, there's no flooding. Everyone's having a red-hot go, and it's been really entertaining.
Matthew Clark's been very good with his handwork. Not a lot of disposals, but he is very good. One of the best palm ruckmen in the game.
He is with that dinosaur, Paul Salmon. They seem to have
dinosaur?
Well, he's a dinosaur. They have that ability to be able to palm the ball right down into the chest. And here we have the really interesting one there is the contested possession. So that obviously the boys both sides are really having a red hot go out there.
Kangaroos 69 possessions in total. 39 of them have come from the contest there. So in and under, inside 50, both teams 14 apiece. So both had their opportunities in that first quarter. Gary Ayres will be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far. The Kangaroos, Kim, got off to a good start. Adelaide got some momentum back.
Well, they did, and we mentioned that earlier. They've been very poor in their first quarter efforts right throughout the season, bar 2 games so far. So Dennis Pagan obviously looking for a good start, and they got one. And it was interesting when Harvey came on. I mentioned before, Harvey always performs very well against the Adelaide Crows, and he certainly had an impact, and the skipper with his 9 possessions.
There's another game on at the SCG. It is the Western Bulldogs taking on Sydney. We're going to show you the scores. If you want to watch the replay, look away now. And down boundary side, Rod Jamieson with Mark Micken.
Yeah, Mark, I just thought Adelaide really just only weathered the storm that quarter.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we were out-tackled, out-crumbed, and it just indicated they were a little bit sharper than us early. I thought we probably managed it a little bit better in the second half of that quarter, but you know, the challenge remains for us to get back in top in the area of just going hard at the footy.
And Gary Ayres referred to the preparation of the game.
Yeah, we always knew it was going to be difficult because you know, Kangaroos have come under a lot of criticism and they've got a history of responding to that sort of thing. So we were ready for that, but perhaps, you know, they just got us at the start.
All right, Mark, good luck.
Mark Micken, former Adelaide best and fairest. Nathan Bassett with 10 possessions on the last line of defence.
Yeah, interesting. Lee Colbert also getting a lot of the ball with 7 possessions. So the ball was coming in pretty willy-nilly. I think Russell mentioned there were a few pretty ordinary screw punt attempts going in there, and it sort of set it up for the defence.
Look, I think Ayres would be fairly happy with this start because he knew that the Roos were going to be coming out, and I think he'd be more than happy with what the situation is at the moment.
Nigel Smart continues his battle with Sav Rocker. Second quarter, Clark and Burton again nullified. Shannon Grant caught by 3 Crows. Goodwin the third comes away with the ball. And that's a completely different bench that we saw at the start of the first quarter.
Considerably.
Well, if they're going to win the game, they just have to have those 4 blokes running around.
For sure. Burton. Quick kick forward from Simpson. Johnson in the way. Edwards. To centre half forward, True. Punch came from Colbert. Here's the dangerous McLeod. Robbins has got to chase Bickley, but Mark Bickley's too good for him, and kicks it, and kicks a goal. He's having a fine year, is the former captain, Mark Bickley. Just confidence, wasn't it? I mean, the pace we saw from him, confidence, he just ran straight past him and was always going to kick the goal.
Always going to kick the goal, but we'll get back to that other man, McLeod. I mean, he made something completely out of nothing then. His acceleration is just unbelievable.
Oh,
and here's Bickley, composed, enjoying himself, just like an under-12 kid out there, kicking goals. He's just loving it.
He's a nice kicker.
And kicking his 70th career goal. And he was pretty pumped about that. You mentioned Andrew McLeod. I think he was convinced he'd be able to break that tackle. Couldn't do so. Normally can, as Tyson Stenglein goes to the interchange bench, and coming on now is Ben Nelson. Nelson, another former Carlton player, only managed 11 games over the past 2 seasons, and he's played mainly off the interchange bench this year for the Crows, but he's certainly hard at it. Now back centre field, Clark becoming a factor now. Got his hands to that one, but Burton stole it. Got the kick forward, taken by Digby Morrell. Good, quick give. They go forward again, but it's not accurate, and that man Bassett gets another possession. This will be number 11, and he launches into it. It's a wobbly helicopter kick out wide to Ben Hart. Hart puts it out towards the outer wing, looking for Kane Johnson, being shadowed there by Teague. Was he held over the top? Good desperation by Teague. The umpire calls play on, and that is umpire Michael Avon, and he will bounce on the outer side. And we see Tyson Stengline there just receiving some treatment to his left nostril. And was he held? Maybe he was. The umpire wouldn't buy into that one, but a good contest between the two players on the outer side, and a free kick will go the way of Spider Burton in that ruck contest.
Geez, he's been good since he's been across at the Roos these last few years. His agility, the number of times he gets the ball, his hit outs, he's a real cult figure.
They're 9th in the best and fairest last year, so he's been a performer. The ball comes up to Sav Rocker, couldn't take it from the back of the pack. He tried to 3 deep. Bassett tries to get another possession there. Harvey at the bottom of the pack. Quick feed out towards Smart. Smart in turn to Hart. Adelaide starting to get a bit more of the football as Johnson brings it around his body. Colbert with desperation, couldn't take it. Teague looked a likely type last year. Make peace with the handball. Oh, Shannon Grant left it behind. This could be costly. Perry got it back to the magic man in McLeod. Measures the kick, puts it inside 50, looking for Rashudo. Needs support. Comes in the form of Goodwin. Normally very accurate, but not this time. Through for a minor score, and he's not happy with that miss.
I mean, that was an unfortunate turnover there by Shannon Grant, and the way in which McLeod just pounced on the ball again. And as he did, I mean, he didn't hit the target, but the ball at least it was out in front of him and had a forward leading hard. Fed off the ball, and unfortunately a minor score resulted.
And it could have been dangerous. McLeod to Rashudo to Goodwin. You don't want to give it up to those three. Harvey, Grant combining. Stevens. Oh, good mark. A lot harder than it may have looked if you're watching at home. He didn't know what was coming. Out in front and just pushing it through for a rush behind Stevens.
Adelaide have made a move. Mark Stevens has gone into defence, and Ian Perry now playing up at centre half forward.
4-5, plays 4-2. Bassett with a short kick to Massey. No one on the mark, with some space. And he wanted Clark, who got rid of Burton. Dowdy crumbing. Indecision there, but decides to go long, and why not? Rashudo's on the burst. Can't mark. Ball comes to ground. Archer. Have to be careful. Baird got it from Makepeace. Bow sharks it. Clever towards Welsh. Round the body, he'll kick this for sure. He doesn't miss. His third. Scott Welsh, 4 last week. Back to the sort of form that he showed in the year 2000 when he picked up 47 goals. He's got 3 already, Russell.
Yeah, well, he's a very exciting player, but that all came about by Rashudo. Unfortunately, Roo didn't take the ball cleanly, but because his attack on the ball and spillage, it gave his crumbing players an opportunity to be able to kick a footy. But what about Arch and Rashudo playing on each other? Geez, you wouldn't want to get in between those blokes, would you?
Adelaide with a 3-point advantage, courtesy of Scott Welsh's 3rd goal. He's been in rare form in season 2002, kicked 4-1 against the Dockers last week. Burton got up high. The tap goes back down to Burton, does his own roving. It's a wobbly kick forward. Harvey with a good turn of speed. Gee, Stevens had a big head start there, but Harvey did well. Digby Morrell then just froze for a moment. Stevens gets it back towards Tyson Edwards to Stevens again. Clark over the top, finds Massey, runs into trouble. Oh, big hit by Byron Pickett, and Massey is down. That was a huge bump. The umpire gets in the way. McLeod says, get out of my way. Then unloads from 50 metres, and I think he's kicked it. What a goal, Andrew McLeod. That was a beauty. And Massey, well, he's a bit shell-shocked, but he's getting some encouragement from his teammates behind the play.
I tell you what, we talk about McLeod. I mean, that was just, he had a couple of options leading up the ground. Instead of going for the short 50 on 50, he went long. He backed himself, and so he should, because he's a great kick of the footy. And look, young Massey there got hit by a Mack truck, but to his credit, straight back up on his feet. Shows a lot of courage.
Crows have kicked 3 goals this quarter, but importantly for them and dangerous for the Kangaroos, McLeod is really a factor now.
He is just pure silk, isn't he? One of the best going around, if not the best.
Challenge being set once again for the Kangaroos. They need to answer with a goal. Burton doing it all. Stevens just wants the ball. So does Johnson. Bode. Fortunate, just threw it out. Doughty was there. Stevens. Up and under, tough one to mark. Gee, Harding almost made it. Robbins backpedaling. Grant. And they work it forward now, the Kangaroos. One-on-one contest, Morrell with Stevens. Ball stays in, Pickett. No, it was out just before he kicked it. And Burton looking on. Haven't seen Burton yet.
No, not yet. But you just sense that Adelaide are really building, and it's going to be very important for the Roos for the next 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that they're about where they are at the moment. They wouldn't want the Crows to get out to about 4 or 5 goals.
9 points the margin. It was 9 points the other way at quarter time. Clark. Chance for Edwards. Replay.
Interesting matchups. We see Benny Robbins, an underrated player, couldn't really crack it with the Brisbane Lions. He's got the job on Mark Bickley this afternoon, who, as we mentioned, has been in rare form this season. Also Archer and Rue, we spoke about that. And Teague and Goodwin. Byron Pickett trying to drag himself into the game. The Kangaroos go forward again. Bassett gets another possession. The Hound Dog puts it out towards the outer wing. Makepeace in a diving attempt. A lot of pressure out there. Oh, McLeod just plucked it from 2 players. One of them was Archer, and he puts it out in the run of Goodwin, who cleverly taps it out to the run of Welsh. He's kicked 3. He's going to feed this one off to Goodwin. Another quick handball to Rashuto. Now back to Welsh. He still may get his 4th. A great tackle by Harvey. Is it holding the ball? It is, and rightly so. Well, they had some chances, but great pressure by the Kangaroo defence as Harvey plays on quickly, and they're about to run out of the danger zone.
Harding with his bouncing the ball. He's running to the interchange bench, and that is good chasing, good pressure from Ben Hart. And Harding has turned it over. Opportunity for the Crows now. Bassett. Laterally to Bode, running Edwards. McLeod was an option short. Rashuto the leader. Rashuto, I should say, the leader. And McCartney getting back. McCartney, this time with a long option to Pickett. Wonderful kick. Pickett quickly. Robbins. Got some space. Over the top he goes to King. King should goal from here. No one in front of him. Decides to do it off 2 steps and kicks it. Good confident kick from King. He could have run 15 metres, Russell. He just saw the goal, said, I've got this.
Yeah, well, he has been a fine player for a long time, and a bloke who knows where the goals are, and bang. You can see, as you mentioned, off a couple of steps straight through the middle.
Good kick from, a good switch, and a good long kick from McCartney to set that up. Good vision.
And very good hands there by Pickett to get it over to Robbins. Adelaide with a 3-point advantage. Let's go down to Rod Jamieson on the boundary.
Yes, Kangaroos, Dennis Pagan really asking a lot of his players. They are hunting the player. Byron Pickett can't be too far away when he hunts and knocks out players like that. Chris Massey, just keep an eye on him.
Back in the centre, a quick feed, not an effective one. Oh, still there by McLeod. That was good. Over to Stengline, searching handball, looking for Massey. Thought about the give behind, kicks around his body. Not 15. Goodwin takes it, wobbles one forward. McCartney's attack on the ball is brilliant. Picking up the crumbs is Colbert, and back out to the skipper again. You talk about Captain Courageous. He is having a real crack this afternoon, Anthony Stevens. Free kick on the outer side, player held. And that will be Shannon Grant. Only 7 possessions last week. Last year's best and fairest winner at the Kangaroos. Drives it long, big leap from behind, and that was Stevens. Got the handball out towards Tyson Edwards. Has time to lift the eyes. Likes to run with the football. In turn, puts it to Fitzgerald. Fell awkwardly and grabbed the right knee. Not good for Fitzgerald or the Adelaide Crows, and he is down. Gee, it was an innocuous contest, but he fell awkwardly, and all of a sudden the Kangaroos are a chance through Lee Harding. He likes to run. He has 2 bounces, kicks to an unprotected goal. It's coming back, but not enough. And the Kangaroos now move along to 5-6. Adelaide 6-2, and Ryan Fitzgerald not looking good at all.
And the stretcher immediately out, so that doesn't look good for Ryan Fitzgerald. We know he's had problems with his knees before, and he is in obviously all sorts of. You can see here on the replay, he just comes and it just buckles out to the right and immediately clutches his knee. So that is real bad news. So perhaps another serious injury, perhaps another serious knee injury in this game. It's an issue that is often discussed, and it can be discussed on the couch on Monday night with Jared Mike and also Lee Matthews as special guests on the couch on Monday night.
Look, you just feel for the kid. I mean, that looks as though it's going to be his third.
Rod Jamieson, boundary side once again.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a hush around the crowd down here at the moment. They really are feeling for Ryan Fitzgerald. He's just come back after 2 years, one shoulder reconstruction, one knee. And talking to Darren Jarman, one of the assistant coaches earlier today, they were just starting to be really impressed by the way Ryan Fitzgerald has come about and was just starting to string some games together. So huge concern down here from the Adelaide point of view.
Yes, this is terrible news for Ryan, and it's an option up forward for Adelaide. And this is something we're seeing in the modern game now, Russell.
When the boys get together, when something,
when there's a stretcher out.
Well, yeah. Well, instead of just standing around scratching your head, you might as well get together and have a bit of a yap and try and work out why things are going the way they are, or what we can do to be able to. And you've got all the leaders in there, so I'm sure they'll all be pumping each other up. And as you can see, the Roos over there, they're very tight, very compact. They realise that they've got a real fight on their hands, and they realise that they have to maybe increase the pressure a little bit to get back into the game, because at the moment you think Adelaide maybe have got a slight advantage.
It was interesting to watch during that time that the umpire in the centre of the ground was watching the interchange bench, because we saw a couple of weeks back, Melbourne I think it was, their interchange players ran on when they were stopping play, so they got into the huddle.
Oh, okay.
And so the umpire was watching to see to make sure that the interchange players didn't run onto the ground unless they are being changed legally, as they are now, as Kane Johnson comes off for Burton. And once again, all right, that just looks terrible, Kim.
Yeah, well, the moment it happened, it looked fairly awkward. And as Russell said, you have to feel for the young man. He's had a number of injuries, and he's only managed, well, this was his 18th game of senior football. And I think I just saw him mouth the words only moments ago, "I can't believe this." And it's a tragedy, because you're living a dream when you're playing AFL football, and his dream has temporarily come to an end. Let's hope it's not as bad as it looks. If not, he's out for another 12 months, and he'll have to wait for 2003.
Well, he must have a lot of character to come back from a knee operation in his shoulder and just starting to get on top of things. And it'll be another challenge to him, and apparently has got great character, and hope everything works out for the young lad.
Ben Hart restarts play. 2 points. Adelaide Crows lead. 12.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. From Manuka Oval in Canberra. An oval where the Kangaroos have a good record, and they have a free kick in the middle of the ground. Shane Clayton.
Come on.
Goes wide, drops short. Massey, good punch, but in the right spot. Digby Morrell, around the body, Digby, and he puts the Kangaroos back in front. Russell, if you're in the right spot, doesn't matter how big you are. Digby's a big fella who likes to take marks, but he was front and square.
Well, that's twice now he's done that, and the goals have resulted, kicking one himself and laying off another one early in the first quarter. It's a perfect spot to be. I mean, they might manufacture a lot of things in AFL footy now, but if you're front and centre there when the pack's up there and they go whack, you're in front, you're the recipient of the ball, and you can use it the way in which you want to.
The Kangaroos back in front with a 4-point advantage. Marsh in the ruck, so too Porter. Spider Burton having a rest, and another centre square infringement. This time the free kick will go the way of Adelaide. Marsh takes it, fed it off towards McLeod, but will have to go back behind the mark.
Umpire blown time on, and as always, there's always someone behind the ruckman when that happens, isn't there? Immediately.
It's not a bad way to pick up a quick stat. An easy one at that. Matthew Clark has gone back to full forward. Took a big hanger there last week. Marsh puts it in looking for Perry. Big leap. Had 2 to beat. Bode was good front and square. Feeds it off to Stenglide. And that would possibly be the worst attempted goal you will ever see. And the worst kick the young Tyson will ever attempt at goal.
That is what we call a shocker.
It is a shot. I mean, he didn't even actually steady. He didn't even change his direction. He kicked it, actually, the direction that he was running. He didn't square himself up at all. And that's the reason. He kicked true, but it went straight.
Bit of a chat here. Now, from where we sat, that looked definitely out of bounds on the full, but it's gone through for a behind, much to the chagrin of the Kangaroos fans just behind. Let's take a good look at this, Russell.
Jason McCartney wasn't happy.
Oh, it's missed by a mile. That's missed by a fair way. But anyway, it's a behind to Adelaide. It's in the book, and we move on.
Okay, the Kangaroos to go forward again through McCartney. That was unbelievable. Porter underneath, a strong attempt. The mark not paid though. Perry at ground level, so too Colbert, as the sun disappears here at Manuka Oval, the nation's capital, and very chilly, around 6 or 7 degrees. In front of our commentary position, Adelaide, a lot of handballs, almost double the Kangaroos as the ball is thumped down from Porter to Pickett. Didn't quite get onto that one. Underneath it, Doughty nearly completed the mark. Robbins is there, pushed in the back according to the umpire, and will pick up the free kick. But the crowd starting to get involved. 3-point advantage to the Kangaroos over Adelaide. They've gone inside 50 on more occasions. Stevens with the fist. King is lurking. So too is Burton. Couldn't take it. King hard at the ball. Gets another opportunity. Concedes ground with the handball. Goes back to Teague. That was touched off the boot, was it? Harris is there. Gets a chance. Oh, met front on crudely by Bickley. And, well, Bickley had eyes for the ball, but he met young Harris head on. And the free kick will be given, and rightly so.
So that was fantastic play before by David King. He had 2 blokes to beat, and he has got great pace, and he really put his foot down, gathered the ball truly and with good hands, and now we've got the recipient here going to be having a shot for goal.
Well, he may not be at the moment. He looks to be in a spot of bother here, Russell. He just ducked his head as Bickley approached in natural instinct, isn't it? You see Bickley or anybody coming at you that pace, just trying to avoid any collision, and Mark Bickley just disappointed in the way it turned out.
And Mark Bickley always very front on. And as you mentioned, Harris just ducking the head at the vital moment, and he looks a very groggy boy. Hopefully he's okay.
Let's hope so. It's just his 9th game of footy, Daniel Harris. Just 20 years old, and he's certainly... Let's take a good look at this. There it is, and feels pressure coming, just and front on. That's all it was.
And there we see another angle, and yeah, definitely just ducked the head. Rewarded with the free kick, and now one of his teammates. Not a bad man to have the football either.
Gee, I wonder where Brent Harvey came from.
Actually,
there he is in the background.
Looking at that actual incident, I mean, there wasn't a free kick there at all.
Well,
I mean, when you
technically, yeah.
Technically, I mean, Bickley's done everything proper. He's come in, he's come low, and unfortunately, the fellow ducked his head.
Harvey started on the interchange bench, has kicked 1, has a kick from 48. That is his 2nd, dead straight.
They've kicked the last 3.
Well, we mentioned a couple, maybe 5 minutes ago, that this is real testing time for them because Adelaide looked as though they had the momentum. I'll tell you what, there's one thing that the Kangaroo boys do have, and that's a lot of heart and persistence.
There's the free kick once again, and the execution of the drop punt by Brent Harvey. Excellent.
Copybook.
Daniel Harris going down to the rooms as we go down to the boundary with Rod Jamieson.
Yeah, Matty, just looking at Daniel Harris coming off, really is groggy, had no legs. Both trainers really trying to hold him up, and as you saw, straight up to the rooms. So he'll have a sore head, but again, the Kangaroos players just fierce at the footy and the player.
Adelaide kicked the first 3. The Kangaroos got the next 3. The margin is back to 9 points as it was at quarter time. And we've just got 9.5 minutes remaining in this first half as the ball beats Stevens over the line.
So throw in about 50 out from the Kangaroos goal. Anthony Stevens, 12 possessions. Nathan Bassett, 13. Big fist down. That was by Rocker. He's been well held by Smart. Now picking it up Burton, who only came on a few moments ago. Hart there with a clever little dummy. Now again it's with Bassett. Possession number 14. Puts it out for the run of Doughty. Will it sit? It doesn't. He nearly slipped. Has time though, and some composure. Now stabs out a pass there, and it's not a good one. And the mark's been taken by Teague. He's doing a pretty good job on Simon Goodwin. Has the ball at centre half back. Kicks it long. Harvey looking for the crumbs. He's there too. Grabs it. Tackled. Play on the call. Porter tried to soccer it off the ground. Bassett in there again. Porter was very good, but a free kick's been given, and it will go the way of Nathan Bassett. Well, I don't think he's ever had this many disposals. We're not even at half time. Bassett has good vision. Finds Massey. Here comes Archer, and just couldn't get there in time. Let him know that he was coming, though. Prosciutto wants it short. That's ignored.
I think
Adelaide trailing by 9 points now. And there's another good mark by T.
I think that was indicative of Archer's frame of mind. If he gets frustrated, he probably would have cleaned him up. They're going okay at the moment, the Kangaroos, so that was pretty disciplined from Archer there.
Yeah, he can be very aggressive. That perhaps understates it somewhat. Ben Hart there does the don't argue and does it successfully. Pirouette's out of trouble. The kick went out to Bowe. They're going indirect, but they found McLeod. Another short pass, and this time looking for Goodwin, who takes the mark just inside 50. So they're doing the hard way at the moment, Russell.
Yeah, they're going wide. It's as wide as you can possibly get. Now, without any doubt, they'll go for the hot spot here, about 15, 20 metres out in front of the 10-yard square. There we go.
You've called it correctly. Put it up very high. Bassett's drifted down. Didn't have to worry about it, though. Burton front position takes his 40th mark for the season. He's taken more than anyone for Adelaide. Also kicked quite a few goals this year. He's the second goal kicker, leading goal kicker with 9.
I'm sure Dennis and the North Melbourne defence and the North Melbourne on the Kangaroos on ballers would have known. That just amazes me. They would have watched the highlights over the last 5 or 6 games that they always go for the hot spot, and it was just a huge hole there.
Burton lines up and it looks pretty good off the boot. He's kicked his first for the game.
Actually, in the games that I've seen the Crows play, that at stoppages inside 50, and if they're on a tight angle, they're one of the best sides going around in the competition.
We're looking at a game this afternoon where they're #1 in clearances and the Kangaroos are #2, so they're both very good from the break-in play at getting the ball moving quickly. Burton's first goal. Crows back to 3 points. Tight contest at Monaco. We've seen a couple of fantastic finishes already in round 8. Let's hope we're in for another one here at Canberra. Hard work in the middle. Prosciutto tumbles out. Stevens tumbles out after the event.
It's interesting that they've got Pickett up at full forward. I would have thought a bloke who was struggling for a bit of form, maybe throw him on the ball, half back flank, half forward, but he's been burnt up there at the moment.
Maybe on the other side of the coin, looking for a mismatch. Morrell, Stevens, chance to test Pickett out. He's on the lead. Oh, the kick was too low for him. Wrapped up by Rocker.
Pretty hard
underneath
to get away
all
from
that.
Severio Rocker.
There's young Doughty.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, if it was 2 or 3 inches higher, that move of Pickett to full forward might have...
It would have been a fantastic move, Russell, and you were wondering why he was there, and that was why.
There's the tap down to Prosciutto, having a run on the ball. Whacks out a huge handball, more in good hope than anything else. Now an opportunity there for Baird. Looks a clever type of player. The kick goes back. That looked like Shannon Grant, I think, and Prosciutto in there and forces it over the line for another minor score. The Kangaroos move along to 49. Adelaide 45, a 4-point advantage with only minutes remaining in their second term here at Monaco Oval. The ball brought back into play. Prosciutto on the end of that one. Thought about playing on. Looks like Nigel Smart's about to have a rest. Kane Johnson ready to come back on. Starting to get fairly dark here at Monaco Oval. Prosciutto kicks long. Perry the target. Sav Rocker is there. The ball at the back of the pack. Simpson picks it up nicely. Had plenty of it this year. More kicks than anyone in the competition. But that's not a good one as it finds Prosciutto. Now they'll have a loose man. It should be Stevens. The mark taken by Burton. In turn it goes back to Hart. He eventually finds Stevens, who takes a diving mark. Now McLeod's lurking across the half-forward line. Stevens brings it in laterally. King back onto the ground at the expense of Severio Rocker, and he might get right into the action. It was kicked straight to him. Massey didn't know he was coming. Going through is Clayton, the former Fitzroy and Brisbane player. Big turnover here. Here's the man. What a master move. Having him at full forward. Byron Pickett kicked one, Russell. And that was far too easy.
Obviously, that's the reason Kim White's up there.
Oh, he's got a smile on his face. He's kicked the goal.
He has kicked the goal, and I'll tell you what, we mentioned maybe 8-10 minutes ago that Adelaide, I know I've mentioned this already, looked as though they were starting to gain control. The scoreboard wouldn't reflect that, but just the look of the game out there, and to the credit of the Roos, have really fought back and kicked a couple of unanswered goals.
Hope you're enjoying this uninterrupted AFL coverage right here on Fox Footy. And Byron Pickett has a goal. So the guys he started on the bench, Pickett has 1, Harvey has 2, and King has 1. So The return is excellent for the Kangaroos. They're back out. Well, they're back to a 10-point margin when it looked as though, as Russell said, that the Crows were going to run away with this game. Still 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Clayton. Here's Johnson, just back on the ground. Archer, thanks to Welsh slipping, gets the easy mark. Stevens is a player on the wing. That was Clayton. Decided to go longer to Digby Morrell. And the diving mark quickly on the up to Clayton. He goes ahead to Harvey. Good kick from Clayton. Well weighted in between a couple of Crows.
Magnificent kick, but I tell you that Morrell, I mean, he can run hard. It's nothing better than having a forward lead up the ground for target to shoot at, and he's really presented himself this afternoon.
So Harvey already with 2 goals from his 7 disposals. Just checking the Canberra breeze. We're right behind it. Harvey to make the margin 16 points. He is successful. And a danger period, I think now, Russell. The roles have been reversed. A danger period for the Crows.
That's right. I mean, momentum's very important. And at this particular stage, the Roos do have the initiative. And as you mentioned, there's still about 3 or 4 minutes to go. And Easy would not like to go in at half-time, maybe 4 or 5 goals down. So they've got a real challenge the next 4 or 5 minutes to close down the running machine of the Roos.
16-point advantage to the Kangaroos at Manuka Oval. And the players that started on the interchange bench doing a lot of the damage. Harvey 8 possessions, 3 straight goals. And in the ruck is Marsh. Porter has a second crack at it. Gets it down towards Bode. Was he tackled high? Yes, according to the umpire. Well, Adelaide need to start running again. The quick feed went out to Kane Johnson. Has a loose player wide, and that is Tyson Edwards. Has the luxury of a bounce. Loves to run with the football. Chips over a short pass, and he's found Burton, who has kicked 1. But this one is a far more difficult angle. There's a pretty loose leg when he kicks, Brett Burton. A few of them tend to wobble a little bit off the boot. He'll be kicking from about 35 out, and he can get that margin back to 10 points. The Birdman, as he's known, lines up, kicks it very high, and it goes across the face of goal. Teague up high just to ensure it does go over the line. So the margin 15 points, and the Kangaroos another chance to go into attack.
Well, the angle there from where Burton was shooting from, if he had 10 shots, maybe he might get 1 or 2. Low percentage kick.
9-7 plays 7-4. The vice captain has it. Good spoil came from Bassett. It's been very good. Makepeace goes back to Stevens. Massey, was he held? Yes.
He seems to have recovered from that hard hit he took before from Pickett.
As you can see, just some rain falling at the moment with the sun still out. A little bit confusing for some, but the weather has been quite unusual here today in Canberra. Massey. Big pack forms. Archer with strength and courage from the front. So a good second quarter, Glenn Archer. Over the top, short pass. Harding got a runner. In Simpson. Didn't see Burton. Now needs some help from Cochrane. Clever handball to Pickett. They'll get out of jail here, the Roos, because they were gone. Pickett's kick out in front of Grant. Chasing his boat. He's a left footer. And he eventually tries to get there. Can't. Goes back. Lang. King. Smart right with him. Good pressure from Nigel Smart. It's got to beat a couple. And he slaps it forward. I reckon he realised he was outnumbered there and just wanted to push it over the boundary.
Good work by Matthew Bode. Then another left footer, so he was aware what Shannon Grant was attempting to do.
There just mustn't have been any talking there when that collision took place. Was it Grant? When he got
Simpson?
Simpson, sorry, when Simpson got hit off the ball.
61 plays 46, just over 2 minutes remaining in the second term here at Manuka, and a free kick's been given. Advantage has been paid. It goes out to Harvey again. Possession number 9 or 10. It's a wobbly kick forward. Doughty applied the spoil. Loose ball is now picked up by Massey. Needs support. Comes in the form of Perry. Likewise out to Doughty, so they've worked that out beautifully. And the kick's not a good one though, and Teague having a very good second turn. David Teague. Playing his 11th game of AFL football, drives his side inside 50. Bassett shields his eyes from the sun. Picking up the crumbs there is Perry, around his body, back to Teague, couldn't control it. On his knees there was Doughty, the gift of Goodwin. Has the luxury of 2 bounces, measures the kick looking for Welsh over his head. Oh, great attempt there by Burton. Did he keep it in play? He did. Little bit of magic there as Colbert goes to ground and gets the handball back to Cochrane, and the Kangaroos should get out of trouble, and that's courtesy of Makepeace.
And they've got some players on the outer side. One is Shannon Grant, so the ball travelling up and down this Manuka Oval fairly quickly at the minute. Grant with some space gets half a Shepherd. Enough to get him all the way almost to the forward 50. Drives it inside now. Rocker! Rebound footy from the Kangaroos, Russell.
It was rebound, and the way in which Grant ran the ball up there, but it was interesting. Maybe it wasn't on screen. David King, whilst he was running away from Grant, was telling him to keep the ball coming, which he did. You need blokes telling you what's going on out there, and exactly as the Crows did a couple of goals ago, they've aimed for that hot spot, and there was Rocker. And the percentages are that's the best place to kick goals.
Rocker kicked the first goal of the match. And this to make the margin a game-high 21 points. From about 40 metres, big Severio Rocker has pushed it, I think. No, he's happy with it. It's a goal. Roos by 21. And one of the big 4 involved once again.
It's amazing what been threatened to be dumped and be left on the bench. I mean,
maybe it's a new tactic for coaches. Start your best 4 on the bench.
Yeah, but I tell you, all those 4 players have been great servants of the club, and they've got a lot of pride. And anyone who's that type of thing happened to them, if you have got any pride in your performance, which those 4 boys do, you do come out seething, and all 4 responded positively, which is what the coach wanted.
Yeah, great piece of psychology there by Dennis Pagan. Not the first time he's applied that. Back centre field, and the Kangaroos are showing some real spirit. The tap went from Porter down to Adam Simpson. The kick, not a big one. Intercepted there by Doughty as the siren sounds to end the first half, and the Kangaroos in a spirited performance lead by 21 points.
Yes, and Adelaide had got that margin out to 9 after trailing by quarter time at 9, but 5 unanswered goals by the Kangaroos have got the margin 10-7, 67. Adelaide 7-4 at 46. It's the players that started on the bench are having an effect. Brent Harvey on screen with 3 goals. And we're in for a great second half here from Canberra. The Kangaroos by 21.
The battered Bombers blitz the Blues, but St Kilda's struggle is far from over.
See, that was clever.
It's Essendon versus St Kilda at the Docklands. Watch Fox Footy Channel tonight to see who rules the heavens at Colonia.
Teamwork, powered by Powerade.
During every waking minute, you must think it. Fitness. You have to be mentally tuned, in top physical condition. The team is as strong as its weakest link. At Collingwood, we feel that it's important to have every player training together to make the side a stronger unit. The bonding and the teamwork, we depend on our total team fitness. My fitness is extremely important to the side. As with every other player on the list, I'm called upon to play a variety of positions where I need to be 100% fit. You must get the most out of yourself to give everything you've got for the team. Training as a team allows us to implement game plans, improve on our match fitness. It is a commitment. I won't let my teammates down. We think at Collingwood it's just important to be able to have every player out on the track throughout the week to ensure that every exercise and every facet of our preparation is done as a team. Mental fitness allows players to maybe get 10% extra out of their physical preparation. Obviously, you've got to be very mentally prepared for a game and throughout a season and be aware that you could get injured at any stage. It is all or none. It is teamwork.
Teamwork, powered by Powerade.
The internet. It's great for sending emails and finding information. Now there's something exciting from Telstra that lets you do that and more much faster. It's called broadband. It's a different type of internet connection that's up to 30 times faster than normal. It lets you do all your day-to-day stuff a lot quicker. Pictures and movies that took ages to download can now just take seconds. Impressive. Plus, you can be on the phone while your computer is still connected to the internet. Telstra Big Pond broadband starts from $54.95 a month. Once you're connected, great value at under $2 a day. Call Telstra now.
Changing times mean new challenges. You need to be fully informed. Sky News brings you more Australian business and finance than ever before. Live market updates on the hour, every hour. And every weekday morning and evening, as well as weekends, Sky Business Report with David Koch.
It's all about money, how it affects your business, your family, your life.
Sky Business Report, the only daily business television program made in Australia for Australians.
Join me for Australia's most extensive coverage of business and finance right here on Australia's news channel, Sky News.
From the back pocket to full forward and beyond, Fox League Teams is the best start to your weekend in football.
If you're going to play Matthew Lappin, you just got to wear him like a second skin.
This will be last man standing.
All the ins, the outs, the matchups and the maybes.
That's a super strong side.
This bloke has been gone about 4 times.
Join me, Anthony Hudson and the panel.
One of them's going to cut loose and go berserk.
And the beard is back.
Get that off.
I've lost it.
Fox League Teams, 8:30 Thursday night on Fox Footy Channel.
The Jack Fingleton scoreboard here at Manuka Oval, showing you that the Kangaroos are in control at half-time. They lead 10-7 to Adelaide 7-4 in a game of, I guess, Russell Green switching momentum in that second quarter. We thought Adelaide were going to move away. Kangaroos came right back.
Well, about the 15-minute mark, we called it. We said, look, as though Adelaide were going to get on top, but to the credit of the Roos, they were absolutely fantastic. 5 unanswered goals, which is great footy.
For the Crows, Mark Rasciuto in his 200th game, playing up forward as a marking target. He's had 12 disposals. He's knocked a couple of people over as well, but only the 1 goal from Rasciuto.
Yeah, well, he's been used up forward a fair bit, and it's pretty hard to get a lot of possessions up there, but he has kicked one, and a few times there's been a bit of spillage, which has been responsible for, and goals have resulted. So he's still playing his part in the actual game.
Now, I know we've mentioned it a couple of times in that first half, but the 4 players that Dennis Pagan benched, some of his quality players, they've come on at varying times in that first quarter, and they really have had an effect on the game. The rocket's been fired and they've answered.
Look, I mean, they have been great players for their club, and they've got great respect and pride within themselves, and they just want to get back out there and play as well as they possibly can. And as you can see, Pickett's been a recipient of a goal there, but Harvey's been fantastic, and they've really had a red-hot go.
In particular, Harvey, who with a well-weighted kick there from Shane Clayton, goes back and kicks the goal, his 3rd goal for the first half. So he has been very good indeed. A little signal there to the crowd. And Shannon Grant provided himself with some space from a good switch from Anthony Rocker, resulting in a goal again for the Kangaroos.
Well, all of those players that you've mentioned have been very important, but the most important thing is what's going to come up next. Whatever's happened in the past, not meaning much, they've got to play well the next quarter.
Severo Rocker with 2 goals for the first half. When we look at the stats, what do they tell you? Apart from the fact, I think uncontested possessions, the Kangaroos well down compared to the Crows.
Yeah. Well, the thing really, that contested possessions part there, I reckon the last 10 or 15 minutes, that's where they really put the screws in. Would have got most of those stats on that particular area of the contested possessions. They were fantastic that last 10 or 12 minutes of that quarter.
Inside 50, the Kangaroos just a little bit ahead, 31-27. We'll take a break from Manuka Oval. We'll talk to Alan Aylett, the chairman of the Kangaroos, after this. This is what you've seen on Fox Footy News. Just see him arriving.
Recent reports surrounding so-called hush money.
Mr. Tony, I told you Tim Lane has walked out on Channel 9.
This far outweighs any traditional clashes in Melbourne.
Forcing multiple offenders.
Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you more than just headlines.
We have a look at it.
To escape the Melbourne spotlight.
David Rd.
Fox Footy News, 7:30 weeknights on your home of football, Fox Footy Channel.
Introducing the limited edition Patrol Plus. You get the powerful 3-litre turbo diesel or the new 185 kilowatt petrol engine. Plus you get air conditioning. plus alloy wheels, plus driving lights, plus a bull bar. Plus the SD petrol was 4x4 Magazine's 4x4 of the year. We challenge you to find better value. The limited edition Patrol Plus. It's just full of pluses.
Hey, Gordy, talk to me. Okay, this is killing us, man. What are we going to do? Okay. Man, we've got to stay focused. Together. Yep. As a team. Come on, as a team, come on!
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
0, liftoff. We have a liftoff. I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
I am the man who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris.
Africa! So with non-violence, we can go into a better day.
It's lovely to be here with the three best scribes in the game.
It's the Monday Experts on the couch with Jared, Mike and Robert.
Reign of Carlton is over, is it? I don't think he's fit enough.
A show for the real footy fan.
We're building him up a bit here, Mike. I know you think that we're jumping the gun. A ruckman's the most important player in a team.
With the hottest topics.
The MCC, I can assure you, have told me that Melbourne is expendable.
Join them on the couch, Monday at 8:30.
Welcome back to Monica Oval at half-time. The Kangaroos 10-7-67, leading Adelaide 7-4-46. Harvey with 3, Rocker with 2, Stevens, Clayton and Pickett with singles, and Adelaide, Welsh has 3 goals. Well, it's half-time at the SCG. An important game for the Western Bulldogs. It's a home game for them up at the SCG. I'm going to show you the scores because I know some of you want to take the replays. And, well, we're going to show them to you shortly. Who did you go for in this game? Western Bulldogs or Sydney?
I've picked Sydney to win this particular game because of their form during the course of the year. Win, lose, and they lost last week, so I'm going for Sydney.
We've kept you in suspense long enough. Here's the scores. Games in Canberra, very important for the Kangaroos Football Club. Kim Dillon has ventured down from the commentary box to the boundary and he's with Chairman of the Kangaroos, Alan Aylett.
Thank you, Matthew. I think I just caught that. We're having a few problems down here, but I am with the president of the Kangaroos Football Club, Dr. Alan Aylett. And firstly, Alan, you'd be fairly pleased with the way things have gone here up to half-time, a 21-point advantage.
Well, yes, Kim, you're right. But, I mean, I've been in football a long, long time, and 21 points at half-time these days doesn't mean all that much, does it?
No, really? It doesn't. You're right there, and the signs were a little ominous halfway through that second term, but your boys rallied nicely.
Yes, but I don't think the Crows are playing very well at the moment, and they can play a lot better. So, it's pretty much in the balance at this stage, I would say. Alan, so all of the Kangaroo supporters watching out of Melbourne anyway, just hang in there, guys, because we're thinking of you up here, and we just desperately hope that in the next half we can keep matching it with the Crows.
Yes, well, it's been a tumultuous season for you. There's no doubt about that. You got off to a good start. Alan, how do you quantify the success of coming up here to Manuka Oval over the years?
Well, it's a long-term proposition, and we're just finalising further negotiations with the ACT government and the AFL. Everyone throughout Australia knows that we've just negotiated a deal with Colonial Stadium and our home bases in Melbourne. Our administrative headquarters will be in Melbourne. Our licensed club operations will be out of Colonial Stadium. So we're a Melbourne-based club. Anything we do in Canberra is specifically for financial advantage and to gather more of a marketplace for the Kangaroos so that we can continue to survive in this very, very tough competition known as the AFL.
Well, you mentioned the marketplace. How has it been up here in terms of membership? Have you noticed an increase, and are you happy with the support you've got here today?
We'll do better as the years go on. So far so good, but like I said before, it is a long-term proposition, and we're getting great support from the AFL, and negotiations we've had with the ACT government to date and over the last couple of days, and just talking to the Deputy Chief Minister just today. I mean, everyone in Canberra wants to see the code prosper here, and we've got a significant part to play, and we're only playing that part two reasons. Firstly, to develop the code, but like I said, to substantiate the ongoing performances of the Kangaroos.
Well, the crowd's certainly not a big one today, but they are enthusiastic. But there was some talk that we may experience some snow. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. It is very chilly here. It's around 5 or 6 degrees. Now, your coach, Dennis...
It's bloody cold.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't know if I should say it or not, Alan. Now, your coach, Dennis Pagan, he's a wily customer. He read the Riot Act during the week. He named a number of senior players, 3 of them, in fact, on the interchange bench. A lot of the scribes didn't think he'd follow through and start them on the bench. He did, and once they came on, they've had an incredible impact.
Yes, they have. They've all done very, very well, and I think it has worked, yes.
Yep, no doubt about that. Brent Harvey looking very dangerous. Well, thanks for joining us here on the boundary. I know it's chilly. I'll let you go back to the warmth at the stand. And, well, as an Adelaide person, I won't wish you good luck, but let's hope it's a great second half.
Well, so far, so good.
Okay.
Kim, yes, thank you.
Back to you, boys.
Thanks, Kim. And Kim's hand's going a little bit blue down there. It must be pretty cold. The second half action coming up shortly. Can the Adelaide Crows get in the match? We'll find out soon. As we go to the break, some young fellas enjoying the cold here at Canberra. Perhaps they're the stars of the future. We find out Fridays on Fox Footy on Oz Kicking Around.
The Dogs ship their Canal North this week to the SCG. Sydney are eyeing a spot in the 8, so the Bulldogs will have to be bang on target to win. The Dogs meet the Swans at their home from home today on Fox Footy Channel.
Teamwork, powered by Powerade.
During every waking minute, you must think it. Fitness. You have to be mentally tuned, in top physical condition. The team is as strong as its weakest link. At Collingwood, we feel that it's important to have every player training together to make the side a stronger unit. The bonding and the teamwork, we depend on our total team fitness. My fitness is extremely important to the side. As with every other player on the list, I'm called upon to play a variety of positions where I need to be 100% fit. You must get the most out of yourself to give everything you've got for the team. Training as a team allows us to implement game plans, improve on our match fitness. It is a commitment. I won't let my teammates down. We think at Collingwood it's just important to be able to have every player out on the track throughout the week to ensure that every exercise and every facet of our preparation is done as a team. Mental fitness allows players to maybe get 10% extra out of their physical preparation. Obviously, you've got to be very mentally prepared for a game and throughout a season and be aware that you could get injured at any stage. It is all or none. It is teamwork.
Teamwork, powered by Powerade.
We believe in each other. You know, we believe we can win.
Dedicated to its supporters, passionate.
Very passionate, very vocal.
Family team.
With the crowds involved, the side really lifts.
It's a great time to be part of the club.
We've got a great history and a great young side. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I want to be part of it.
Will you be part of it? Call us.
The gluttony, the greed, the sloth, the envy.
Get a haircut! Well, hi, Diddley.
The wrath, the pride and the lust.
The Simpsons, every night at 6 on Fox 8.
Demystify the strange. Dispel the myth. Question superstition. Could there be a rational explanation for the paranormal experience and mysterious phenomena? State-of-the-art research sizes up the facts behind science mysteries. Tuesday, only on Discovery Channel.
We've all heard the expression, what happens on the field stays on the field. Well, on this show, what happens off the field ends up on Living With.
So who do you rate as a coach currently?
No, you know what they're saying?
God, we played well and we'll be in the ones next week, matey. How'd you propose?
Oh, look, we won't go into that.
Do you have sex the night before a game? Really
Well, on here, I'm going from a coach to a baby now.
It's like Beauty and the Beast here.
If you think Temptation Island's tough, try surviving half an hour with the girls on Living With on Fox Footy Channel.
We've mentioned how cold it is here at Canberra and a pretty ominous looking cloud overhanging there here at Manuka Oval, so perhaps some wet weather to come as Mark Rasciuto is having a chat to his players. 6 goals to 4 that second quarter favouring the Kangaroos. Margin went from 9 points to 21. They've got a guard of honour from all the Auskick kids there. They're taking their time getting back out on the ground, the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens, who has been leading from the front with 15 possessions. He has been very, very good. Big Spider Burton. You can just see there just how tall Spider Burton is, standing up against some of his lesser-sized midfielders. And it's a great moment for the young kids when they get to slap some of the players, and then they don't get a lot of high fives back, Russell.
No, that's right. Look, it is a great time for those young boys and girls out there playing in Auskick to actually see league players come out, and the calibre of Archer, Stevens, those type of players. It's just a great time for the kids.
What about the Adelaide Crows in this second half? They're only down by 21 points. It's not a big margin when you've got some terrific players like McLeod and Goodwin in the middle. What will they do? How will they get back in front?
Well, first thing, a few of them have got to start getting a bit more of the footy, Matthew, and that'll be of utmost importance to Gary and his match committee. But they're a very fine side, and I'm sure you will see right from the first bounce kick, they know what's up for stakes. They know that they can be equal top after tonight if they win. So they're not going to let it slip through their fingers.
Let's find out how he's enjoying the cold. Rod Jamieson.
Oh, look, it is bitterly cold down here and getting colder by the minute. From North Melbourne's point of view, or Kangaroos' point of view, Daniel Harris is probably the only concern. He took a heavy knock. Also, Lee Colbert in that first quarter, but they're okay. From Adelaide's point of view, Ryan Fitzgerald, there's no confirmed reports as to how serious that knee is, but they are a little concerned. Also, Massey and John Cock, similar, that took some heavy knocks, but other than that, both sides are okay in terms of injury. And again, Dennis Pagan extremely happy with the way the Kangaroos have come out after being questioned during the week.
Thanks, Rod, who wouldn't look out of place on a Hugo Boss catwalk this afternoon. Down on the boundary. Having a good afternoon. We'll keep an eye on some of those injuries as they go along. Kim Dillon has returned from down on the boundary.
Matthew, I can tell you it is cold down there. I don't want to harp on the point, but it is incredibly cold. And, well, the good doctor put it better than me. He said it's bloody cold. Yeah, it's certainly dropped a couple of degrees, but there's still a bit of heat remaining in this game, no doubt about that. And we can see Mark Rasciuto looks like he has gone to into the centre square now. No, is he drifting out again? Lost him.
No, he's gone down forward again.
He's
starting forward in the centre square for Adelaide. They have Bickley, Stengline and Goodwin. So almost the usual suspects. McLeod hovering on a wing. Second half action. Adelaide trail by 21 points. Burton with the first tap. Robbins roves it beautifully, pushing the ball forward. Rocker slaps it out to Harvey, who has to be quick, not quick enough. Adelaide with the numbers, charging through Bickley. Edwards. Underneath it all is Goodwin. And there'll be a ball up right on the forward 50 for the Kangaroos.
That was intelligent play by Big Sav. He knew he was really hot. He was under the pump. He couldn't take possession of the ball, so he just pushed it out to young Harvey. And unfortunately, Harvey couldn't get his foot to the footy.
Umpire Mitchell bounces. Favours Hart. Burton. Not locked to kick to, so just kicks to the space to the wing. John Cock has superior pace on Baird. Round the body. And Colbert, in the end, decided he couldn't mark it. Tried to find the boundary, didn't. John Cock needs to get it over the top to Perry. Back towards John Cock, spinning. Caught, gone, holding the ball. Time on. I thought he was almost free there, but it was a good tackle in the end. It just wouldn't let him go. Here's the replay, Russell.
I tell you, 2 or 3 goes. I mean, he's a talented young player, and he has got lots and lots of skills.
has the nickname of Stiffy Johncock, and he's a real favourite at the club. Underneath a Goodwin, one grab, tried for the second, but he's picked up a free kick. No advantage will be paid. Doughty tried to run off with the football. Well, we say it every week, but the first goal after half-time is crucial. 21 points is the margin. Simon Goodwin, the dual All-Australian, 2000 best and fairest winner, has the ball on the wing here at Manuka Oval in front of the Sir Donald Bradman stand. Puts it up to 50, but a good strong mark taken by Adam Simpson. One of the veterans and one of the real performers of this Kangaroos side. Puts the ball out wide with the left foot to the run of McCartney. He's had a pretty good game. The former Collingwood and Adelaide Crows player. His kick was a wobbly one. Anthony Stevens has had a ripping game. Possession number 16, and he's found Clayton inside 50. And Clayton looking to get on with it pretty quickly. And it's not a good kick. Mark Stevens back there, and the ball forced over a line. Funny one, that one, Russell. He is in two minds.
We're all anticipating that he was going to go back, and as you mentioned, Kim, he was in two minds, and look, he would have been far better going back and having a set shot at it.
Stevens accepts it short. And goes towards Johnson. This is a poor kick. They're giving it up. Harvey, the danger man, has three. Does it hook back for him? No, it just hung out.
Geez, that was a real let off there. I mean, that was the most undisciplined kick to a short like that. But unfortunately for the Roos, Harvey would normally kick that.
He knows he should have kicked that. Hands on head there. He swallows them up.
And that would have made it quite uncomfortable for the Crows.
A let off for Stevens. Hart. 2 to kick to. Edwards. They work it out to the wing. Lovely kick from Edwards, finds Doughty. And here's a loose man. He can go, Goodwin. Very easy for the Crows. A little chip over the top to the run of Rashudo. Archer right with him. And does well for the punch. 200 games for Mark Rashudo. And it wasn't so long ago that Glenn Archer, just 7 games ago, played his 200th.
Look, they do everything honestly, don't they? Rashudo was under the pump when he went to the footy, and he knew that Archer was right on his backside. 2 great players.
Yeah, one of the best defenders in the business, Glenn Archer. The ball thrown back into play. Burton got it down, but it's taken by McLeod. Wazzy leg, play on the call. Half the crowd wanted holding the ball. Great tackle on Makepeace there. That was by Stengline, and the boundary umpire will have to do it all over again. 69 plays 46, Russell.
Robbins is running with Bickley, and Makepeace has got that unfortunate job with running with McLeod.
Marsh to do the ruck work, got up high, won the tap, punching it forward was McCartney. The ball again goes out towards Goodwin, puts it towards the hot spot. Back there is Marsh, and didn't take the mark, should have. Good defensive play, and picking up the loose ball is Anthony Stevens. Well, he'd be close to best on ground. He's had 17 possessions, and there's going to be a free kick down the ground for a push in the back. Or will it go back?
Quite amazing, Kim, because he had no one to kick to, so he was kicking for the boundary.
And there we see it again, and there was the push and a little bit of frustration there from Rashudo. So the 2 captains, the free kick will be taken by David King. Kicks it long. Players set themselves. Massey, the destroyer, from behind. The ball comes down to Baird. Dispossessed on the tackle by Bassett. Getting a bit slippery out there as well. And the ball will be thrown in right in front of our commentary position. 16.5 minutes remaining of this third term. 69 opposed to 46.
Stevens close to best on ground, and he's running with Goodwin. And Goodwin hasn't had that much of an impact on the game as up to date.
Here's Stevens once again. Simpson, Grant. The midfield strength of the Kangaroos combined. Grant inside 50, hooks across to the hot spot. Falls over the back. Chance there for Big Porter, isn't he? He's got the goal. So another time inside the Kangaroos forward line, we see a big fella. We've seen Morrell and now Porter doing the crumbing.
I mean, Stevens once again started off. We spoke about an impact he's had on the game so far. Out to Shannon Grant. Grant being disciplined. He's on his the wrong side to be able to have a direct shot, but hit the hot spot, and there's Big Porter there. Bang, making things uncomfortable for the Crows.
The Kangaroos with a more than handy 29-point advantage, and they're taking control in the centre. It will be Marsh opposed to Burton. Kane Johnson is in there, Bickley there as well. Burton won the tap, came down to ground level. Robbins with a quick handball, more in hope than anything else. Taken again by Doughty. He's had a lot of the football. Good one up high from behind. Teague got tackled. High play on the call. Burton came through solidly. Thought a free kick may have been given. There will be one now. An advantage has been paid as Baird puts in a lovely pass to find Severio Rocker. The big fella's kicked 2. He's kicked 580 career goals. This would be one of his best. He unloads from 65. Distance not a problem. That is a mammoth kick. That really is.
It is a mammoth kick, but you get the feeling that he actually over-kicked the footy. But look, what about Teague's courage back there? Dennis Pagan said they were going to have a go, and Teague's courage before was absolutely first class.
Free kick we can see there on Grant was just after that performance from Teague. He's come up a little bit sore, Grant. But we have an Adelaide free kick with the action at the moment. It's Mark Stevens. Kangaroos have kicked the last 6 goals. Massey quickly switching. Kick needs to carry, it doesn't. Morrell, but here's McLeod. Is he the best in the AFL at ground level? Probably. Should get around Porter. Out in front of Marsh. Marsh against Burton. The tall timber. And he just pops it over the top to Kane Johnson. Lee Harding won't be on the ground for much longer. Long. Punch came from McCartney. Crows need a crummer. Robbins under pressure. Bickley. Uncompromising football. Archer. Over the top, the Birdman rides into the ground, but in the end it was a very good mark to Shannon Grant in front.
And wouldn't be surprised if the runner goes out because Burton did not attempt the spoil. Grant puts it up along the wing. Digby Burrell got up high. Stenglein is there, crashing his way through Simpson. Over towards Robbins. Weaves a little bit of magic. Nice play. Now the ball comes out to Harding. He was down moments ago. He looks okay now. They're inside 50 again. Adelaide have the numbers. Back there, Tyson Edwards. Harvey gets the handball out. It goes in the direction of Smart. A big looping handball over the top to Stevens. He casually passes it on to Goodwin. Not sure which way to go. Draws the player. Now goes back to Kane Johnson. Gee, they're making hard work of it. Goodwin now providing a bit of run. Still not sure where to go. They've got nothing to kick to up half forward. Now they go back, conceding some ground to Marsh, who measures the kick and puts it out towards Johncock. King, well, we've got youth opposed to experience, and the experience wins out as the ball is paddled over the boundary line.
The pressure that the Roos are putting on the Crows at the moment, absolutely, it's immense. Then Goodwin, one of the best users of the footy, had nowhere to go, so he's running around circles and unfortunately had to go wide. But the Roos are putting on an enormous amount of pressure.
Here's Lee Harding. We saw him come off, and there's the clash with Mark Stevens that resulted in that cut to the head. And he'll get some attention on that. He bounced around for a while before he came off. Almost found himself in a goal-kicking situation. Burton and Marsh, under 14 minutes remaining, 30-point margin. Adelaide need to score, need to get some goals happening. Robbins. Goodwin on the up, Edwards. Straightening up now and going back and taking a very strong mark, Shane Clayton. To the wing, boundary side. Rocker, the flyer, was never going to get it. Goodwin went without it. Teague, impressive young player. Pickett, quickly up. Player running for him, but that's a high ball, going to be very tough to mark. Great mark from the Birdman in Burton. They're back in one-on-one just about any time. Plays on quickly, switches to Bassett.
And Bassett now has the luxury of a bounce and has plenty of time to find a teammate. That's if he can see one. Decides to kick it out wide, looking for Massey. They've been breaking down across half forward today, the Crows. Massey has it, kicks around his body. Marsh underneath it and takes a strong mark. Goes to play on, gets around the big fella in Burton, measures the kick, 2 against 1. Rashudo was underneath it, it wasn't a good kick. Simpson now picks it up. Good vision to see Colbert, and Colbert can play on quickly. He does, looking for Shannon Grant. The ball in that direction. Burton with that great leap forces the ball over the boundary line. Well, the margin is 30 points, Russell, and the Adelaide Crows are really struggling at the moment. They have no fluency through the midfield whatsoever, and they are breaking down across half forward.
No fluency and breaking down at half forward is causing enormous problems for them. But they're a very good side. We'll see what happens in the next 10 minutes.
Well, Stevens from the clearance again. It's been excellent. Massey, got to beat 2. Wants to hold it in. Be careful. Kangaroos trying to get it out. Edwards does so now. Crows breaking. Hart running through the middle. Direct, long footy, great kick. Rashudo, that pace couldn't get it. It falls to Scott Welsh. He hasn't missed these. They need this, and he drills it for his 4th. Four goals to Scott Welsh. Great long direct kick though from Ben Hart.
I mean, that was against what they had been doing prior to this, just chipping around, going wide. But that was the first time where we were seeing something long and direct. And Rashudo unfortunately overran the ball, went over the top of his head. But Walsh was there to clean up and kick truly. They really needed that goal to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, once again, it wasn't good management, that goal, but they got one on the board.
Lee Harding just coming back on. He's been stitched up. One that's actually slipped under our guard, Stuart Cochrane for the Kangaroos, has been sitting on the bench. He's got a tracksuit on. It doesn't look like he'll take any further part in the game.
Back centre field, and it's the Kangaroos by 24 points. Kane Johnson got it over towards Stengline. Dispossessed. Good pressure by Harvey. Allowed Byron Pickett to get the ball out wide to Clayton, who measures the pass. Well, he made it tough for Big Severio. Now going through there is Digby Morrell. Not a bad mover, Digby Morrell. That kick wasn't a good effort, though. Nigel Smart with the football. Adelaide looking to set up a forward movement again as Smart kicks to the outer side. Great vision to find Tyson Edwards. Loves to run with the football. Has 2 bounces, make that 3. Now he's looking for some movement up forward. Rashudo one way, then the other, and eventually Bassett, who's everywhere. They've got him up forward now after a sensational first half in defence. Too far out to score. Puts it to the head of the square. Up high there was Marsh. No one at the back of the pack, and the ball rolls over the line for a minor score. So the advantage, 23 points to the Kangaroos.
As you can see, they're a very disciplined side, the Crows. I mean, always hitting for that hot spot, and it's the second time they moved the ball up the ground very quickly, minimal touches, and a score resulted. Whereas before they've just been mucking around the ball short, chipping and so forth. Direct is the best.
Saw Dr. Alan Aylett and Jeff Walsh looking on. Concerned about the last couple of minutes, but not too concerned with the margin. And certainly Anthony Stevens, what a game he's playing. Clayton.
20 possessions, Matthew, for Anthony Stevens.
Centre wing Clayton towards centre forward. Digby Morrell the target. Perry got in front. Crummer's needed. Harding's back on the ground. And, well, perhaps a little bit fortunate there, Lee Harding, against Nigel Smart. Man of the mark will be 60 metres out from goal. And the man of the mark for Severio will be less than that, and that's within range.
Well, as long as he doesn't rush it. The one he kicked before, he kicked it 65, 70 metres. He did rush it. Off 2 or 3 steps, went bang. But now he's sizing it up. He's gone back to the centre. He's going to have to kick from 65, 70 metres to kick this.
Probably about 65.
65.
These sort of goals, though, if they come off by Severio or his brother Anthony, they really do lift the team. A long drop punt needed.
Gee.
A big roost. It's just to the left. He just about made it. One behind. The long kick. Doesn't matter whether it's a drop punt or it's a torpedo punt. One of the great things in AFL football, as are people that sit in the wet. There's a little bit of rain here at Canberra at the minute. Let's hope it doesn't snow.
And as are hot dogs on days like today. And that little fella was thoroughly enjoying that one. The short pass came out to Simon Goodwin. 77 plays 53 here at Manuka Oval. The pass in turn to Stengline, recruited from Subiaco. Been a very consistent performer over the last few years for Adelaide. But gee, they're manning up well, the Kangaroos. And now Stengline forced to handball and put Tyson Edwards in a spot of bother. In turn, the handball goes back towards Goodwin. Perry draws the player. Stengline gets onto it again. Still, they're working hard. Now the long kick, and from behind, Massey takes the mark. Now there's 2 players in the goal square. Rashudo is there. The ball is kicked wide. It's not a good kick. It was set up for Digby Morrell, who thumps it away. Edwards takes it. Oh, he likes to hold on to the ball. That's holding the ball. And that's happened a lot in recent weeks. He was caught a couple of times at Colonial against Essendon.
It's just indicative of how North Melbourne are playing, because they are, there's not much space out to move out there, and they're just chasing everyone, hunting everyone down in packs, and that was a great tackle.
And that was Benny Robbins, the #1 tackler for the Kangaroos this year. So he's been a handy recruit. Kicks long. Underneath it there was Perry. Ball goes towards the back of the pack. Bickley tries to crash his way through. Umpire blows the whistle, and we'll have a bounce with just over 8 minutes remaining in this third term, and it's going to be a tough old final quarter, but you'd like to be on the Kangaroos at the moment. They're doing it well, and they're playing with great commitment, and the rain is falling here at Manuka.
Burton and Marsh, there's Stevens out the back door. Got a call from Harvey, Makepeace, and they had the player in the right spot. A little bit fortunate, it was Teague. He's got to move it on quickly. Now goes Pickett the lead, suits Adelaide. Two there, Burton. This ball came from Bickley. Burton switches it now on the rubber band. Here's Johnson. Gets in board, he's got Dowdy long, he spots him. The carrier's there. Dowdy, inside 50. Kim, what's the distance?
Well, he's been good with goals this year. He's kicked 8, and look, I think he could make the distance here. I'm just not sure about that breeze down there at ground level. We'll get Rod Jamieson to update us there again shortly, but Kane Johnson certainly got plenty of distance with that kick, and Dowdy's been pretty good this season.
8 goals won this season, so accuracy hasn't been a problem. Just needs the distance. Easy as that. Never in doubt, Michael Dowdy. And the Crows get back to a 3-goal margin.
Well, they, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, I mean, they were really under the pump, and they had to get the last 2 goals. But it came from the reason why the rebound line, the kick into that forward line, into the Roos forward line. Option should have been far longer. Possible, went for the 50-50, rebounded, and as you see, 3 direct kicks and a goal.
The margin just 18 points here at Manuka, so Adelaide trying to claw their way back into the game. 59 plays 77, and it is teeming down here. If it's not cold enough, it's also wet. Adam Simpson grabs it, drives it in long. That's a huge kick. Underneath it, Benny Robbins. Bickley there shows a good turn of speed. The boundary line should win out, and Massey picked it up, but it was just over the line. So we'll have a throw in that right forward pocket, and the advantage Russell are getting it out of the centre quickly.
Oh, it is. First kick out of the centre puts enormous pressure on the back line. But getting back to Bickley, what about his turn of pace then? He was behind Robbins and got in front of him. Just unbelievable for a bloke who's played so much footy.
And Benny Robbins certainly not slow. Doing the ruck work, Perry. Severio Rocker there as well. Clever play by Digby Morrell as he tried to tap it back. Shannon Grant there. Burton getting a little bit of the football in this third term. The kick's a wobbly one, and it goes out of bounds on that outer side. And the Birdman, well, he's had 8 possessions now, and he started on the bench. Didn't come on till late in that second term.
Well,
Burton up against Marsh. 413 centimetres of prime footballer there. Marsh lays it off beautifully. Doughty. Edwards. Crows running better now. Bassett. Did he have possession? No. Free kick. Advantage should be paid. And it's with McLeod. Inboard Goodwin. Can he straighten up and kick another one for the Crows? Goodwin has just pushed it off to the left. Bitterly disappointed. And so will Gary Ayres, his coach. Speaking of coaches, there'll be 2 coaches on the couch on Monday night. One of them is Robert Walls, a former premiership coach. And of course, a special guest, Lee Matthews, the Brisbane Lions premiership coach, to discuss all the issues in football.
David King to bring the ball back into play. Nice looking kick, and a very accurate one to find Makepeace. Tried to get around Johncock, thought twice about it, put the handball over the top to Clayton. He's been good this afternoon, but Adelaide have the numbers, and Mark Stevens, who, as we mentioned, playing at centre half pack, takes a good chess mark. Kicks it looking for Perry. Morrell went back into the traffic. Umpire said that was okay. The ball out of play on the right half forward flank. Just under 6 minutes remaining. The rain continuing to fall here at Manuka Oval. Ian Perry looking after Digby Morrell. Ben Marsh to do the ruck work. Porter front position. Got first hands on it. It comes down towards Kane Johnson. Good kick around his body. Adelaide back inside 50. Bassett, a good chest mark. Opposed to Colbert. Having a big day out as the Hound Dog. He doesn't mind sneaking down to kick a goal every now and again. Has kicked 7 career goals. He wouldn't like to have too much money on this being his 8th.
Oh, come on, Kim. Be confident. He loves kicking in sun showers.
Yeah, no, tough angle from there. Nathan Bassett lines up. He'll kick from about 45. He is a left footer, and he started it to the right, but it doesn't come back. The margin now 61, plays 77 with just on 5 minutes remaining.
They've got it back from 30 points though, haven't they? 30 back to 16.
It gives them a real opportunity going into the three-quarter time.
Harvey gets it short. Ground bathed in sunshine. McCartney got it off to King. Pack forms, pick it over the back, went to ground. That handball is searching for Morrell. He has a runner in Harding. He is clear, very clear, runs into the open goal and kicks it. Wonderful answer by the Kangaroos from a kick in. Russ just ran it down.
I mean, it's just the value of a long kick from King. And here we have Pickett. I mean, he knew so he had 2 options here. He's gone long over Morrell. Gathers the ball in. He's got support by Harding. And Harding can kick goals. As we see here, he steadies. And nails it.
22 points the margin after that goal to Lee Harding, 21-year-old, and looks pretty good. And there's a rainbow. Will there be a pot of gold at the end of it for the Kangaroos? They are in desperate need of a win after 2 beltings in recent weeks, and they've got a handy advantage at the moment considering the rain falling here at Manuka Oval. 12-11 opposed to 9-7. In the centre, Anthony Stevens. He's been a gun from the start. Clark back in doing the ruck work. Gets it straight down to McLeod. That's his advantage, Matthew Clark. He's a very good tap ruckman. The loose ball picked up by Bassett. Throws it onto the left boot. They need a grab in the square. Welsh is back there. McCartney and Archer have been very good, and they forced the ball over the boundary line. And Glenn Archer just has a chat to himself. In fact, chastises himself. He thought he could have taken possession there, but he's done a pretty good job on Mark Rasciuto. He's managed just the 1 goal this afternoon.
And there you can see, you may be watching and thinking, there's sunshine out there. It can't be raining, but it is.
No snow, though, as we've mentioned, but not far from it. Wells picked it up beautifully. He's a clever player around his body. McCartney stood his ground. Tyson Edwards trying to sock it off the ground and forced over and rushed through for a behind. 62 plays 83. The margin back to 21 points.
Once again, we see the ball centred to the hot spot, Matthew. Very disciplined.
Spider doing some stretching. 21 points. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. King with some depth. Beautiful kick to Colbert on the point of the square. Colbert slows it down. Thinks about the switch. Probably should actually. But decides to go down the line to make peace. Doughty drops back into the hole for him. Does well. Blocks it. Then a short little pass. McLeod. Beautiful kick. Finds Stenglein. Stenglein. High ball, pack to form. Here they come, Welsh, but the punch came from McCartney. Stevens in the right spot, hooks it around. Can he get enough purchase on it? The distance is very good. Mark Stevens has kicked the goal. Just what they needed. Mark Stevens had enough time there, Russell. Once he found out he was clear, thought, yep, I can kick this.
That's right. Most blokes should feed it off in front in that situation to someone front square, but he realised he had a bit of time. But all that goal actually resulted from Lee Colbert taking about half an hour to try and kick the footy down. And just all the options were closed up, and when he did kick it, he kicked it to the wrong bloke and rebound goal.
Mark Stevens has kicked his first goal, started at centre-half forward, went to centre-half back, and now he's back up forward. Clark with another tap, put it out for the run of a number of players, including McLeod, but that was to no avail. Going through strongly there was Makepeace. Now the ball put forward. Teague's been good all afternoon, but he had a fumble there. Johncock in there, going through is King. Johncock again left it. King over the top of it. Clever little toe poke there by McLeod, but it went to the opposition. Adelaide have the numbers. In fact, Stevens has gone back to centre half back again, so he just drifted down to kick that goal. Bickley has the football and good vision and disposal to find Kane Johnson. Over towards Perry, has a loose player all by himself in Goodwin, who's been pretty inaccurate today. He's managed 2 points and put one out of bounds on the full. This time, once again, he puts it to the head of the square. Colbert at the back of the pack. No Adelaide Crows. Clayton paddles it forward to the boundary line. And the crowd wanting a free kick, so do the Adelaide players. But the field umpire says throw it in.
What do you think, Russell?
Mate, the field umpire showed complete common sense then. That's the only thing he could have done.
You don't think there was a dash of intent there, Russell?
No, not at all.
Oh, Clark, quick snapshot. And it's through for a point. Would have been a little tough, but I think he achieved what he was after.
I mean, the only other thing he could have done was to hit it through for a point, but it's going to be a very close game, so you don't want to concede any ground whatsoever.
14 points now. Crows pushing just before three-quarter time. They'd dearly love another one. King. And just a little bit lucky there, Stephen. Edwards just slipping a bit, making an uncontested mark. Teague running hard for the Roos. Long kick. Over the top came Big Sav. No mark. Play on. Smart wrapped up by Harding. And we have a stalemate with just under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Isn't it amazing when both sides move the ball freely and kick long, that goals and scores ultimately result? Just when they overuse and over-finesse with the ball, that they cause all sorts of problems for each other.
Burton just punches it. Likewise, Goodwin. Makepeace. Did well, actually, at ground level there. Got it forward. Suited Bickley. It fell over the back towards Pickett. Bickley got back first. He's going to need some help. He gets it in Perry. Caught high. Good decision. Big Ian Perry breaks quickly to the wing. The reason being, there's a player out there on his own. That's Tyson Edwards. He's had plenty of the ball in this third quarter. It's been lively. They stay up that side of the ground once again. Bassett, been everywhere. Speaking of everywhere, what about Stevens? And only 2 Crows to kick to. One of them's Nigel Smart.
That was possession number 23 for Anthony Stevens. Smart now puts it out to Simon Goodwin. That's his 22nd disposal. Big leap from behind. Ball comes down the ground. That was Stengline. Gets in after it again. Loose ball at the back of the pack. Colbert drags it back under. This could be lethal. Oh, given the benefit of the doubt.
The other thing that the Crows do very well is that inside that 50, they do try and keep the ball alive as much as possible. And if you keep it alive, keeps the backmen on their toes.
And Matthew Clark has some blood coming from behind his right ear. The umpire yet to spot it. So he'll get to contest this one, and he wins the tap. Put it out wide. Anthony Stevens nearly took it. Couldn't do so. McLeod can. Will he have a shot? He goes back onto the left, and he was accurate, but did not have the distance. And the mark has been taken by Clayton. Been a good performer today, Clayton. He's picked up 15 possessions. This time it's a short pass to Glenn Archer. Not a lot of time left in this third quarter. Adelaide trailing 69-83. Their margin is 14 points. As the siren sounds, and that's the way it will remain. And Matthew Clark will be able to be attended to.
Well, 3 goals, 5 to the Adelaide Crows in that quarter. The Kangaroos managed 2 goals, 4. They're pushing the Crows. Can they get all the way?
The battered Bombers blitz the Blues, but St Kilda's struggle is far from over.
See, that was clever.
It's Essendon versus St Kilda at the Docklands. Watch Fox Footy Channel tonight to see who rules the heavens at Colonia.
The internet. It's great for sending emails and finding information. Now there's something exciting from Telstra that lets you do that and more much faster. It's called broadband. It's a different type of internet connection that's up to 30 times faster than normal. It lets you do all your day-to-day stuff a lot quicker. Pictures and movies that took ages to download can now just take seconds. Impressive. Plus, you can be on the phone while your computer is still connected to the internet. Telstra Big Pond broadband starts from $54.95 a month. Once you're connected, great value at under $2 a day. Call Telstra now.
Get in. Hey, Gordy. Talk to me. Okay, this is killing us, man. What are we going to do? Okay. Man, we've got to stay focused. Together. Yep. As a team. Come on, as a team. Come on!
Weeknights, go beyond what you see and explore a different side of the world. From 7:30 to 9:30. Mondays, Challenge. Tuesdays, Tech Tuesday. Wednesdays, Crime Night. Thursdays, Civilizations. Fridays, Power Zone. New discoveries, fresh insights. From 7:30 to 9:30. Mondays to Fridays, weeknights are made for discovery.
It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Across Australia, Sky News. Sky Business Report with David Koch, exclusive to Sky News. Is this the greatest mark of all time?
Okay, to the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesselenko, you're guilty!
Judge for yourself with Fox Footy Channel's unrivaled lineup of the greatest moments in football history. From the current to the classic, there's only one place where the legends of the game get a run every week.
And have a look down here, there's a fight on before the match. Extraordinary scenes at the MCG.
Fox Footy Channel.
Yeah, some wonderful Fox Footy camera work there, just picking up the unusual conditions that these players are playing in. Not hard to score goals, just the sun showers we're seeing at Manuka Oval this afternoon, as we saw Lee Harding kick a goal there. Gary Ayres, he knows his team is right in this game, doesn't he?
Well, oh, very much, Matthew, and it's an important game as well. Like as you mentioned earlier at the start of the game, they're playing for second position. It's a very winnable game, and it's against a side that's been struggling, but they're a side that are playing with a lot of determination.
Scott Welsh has been very good for them. 4 goals up forward. Perhaps he's the man in this last quarter with a couple of goals, Russell, that can turn this game.
Well, he is a noted goal kicker, and he just knows where they are. He's kicked 4 today. And you would like to think that maybe in the last quarter he will still have a big impact on this particular game.
He's an interesting player because he's not a big man, he's just a clever footballer and reads the play well.
Yes, very clever there. Just turned, with the benefit of the ball going over the back, just turned McCartney inside out and finished off with his 4th, and a little bit of a nudge, wink. Now there are 2 other games now being played around the country. The second Sunday afternoon game has started. We're going to show you the 3-quarter time score from the Western Bulldogs in Sydney at the SCG and the quarter time score from Essendon and St Kilda at Colonial. If you are going to take some replays, it's your chance to look away now. You can catch the replays of those games throughout the week. And it's a 14-point margin as we prepare for the last quarter action. Kangaroos have been in control for most of the game. There was that period in the second quarter Adelaide got on top.
Yeah, they've certainly been in control on the scoreboard.
On the scoreboard,
and in the game as well. But amazingly, Adelaide's had a lot more of the football. They've had something like 39 more possessions.
So can the Crows come back, or will the Kangaroos hold on for their 4th win out of 5 playing in Canberra? Clark misses it. Not the second time though. Numbers here for the Kangaroos though. Stevens caught, good pressure, Bassett, and he gets the free kick holding the ball. Bassett excellent early in defence and now proving a real bonus up forward for them. Player on the lead, Rashudo, just couldn't quite get it. Clark doing the roving and kicking the goal. Great start for the Crows. Well, we've seen Porter and Morrell for the Kangaroos at one end and Clark at the other. They're turning this game inside out.
It's a great, mate, the little Crummer should be kicking those goals. But once again, we'll get back to that man playing his 200th game. Rashudo was the one who actually made the contest. Spillage, no little Crummers except the big fella there, Clark, and kicking a goal. Rashudo's very important down there in that position.
Well, Matthew Clark, like a rover then, he's only kicked 25 career goals in 163 games. He kicked one last week after taking a hanger against the Dockers, and he actually followed down beautifully there and kicked one on the run. And he was pretty pumped, and so are the Adelaide supporters here at Manuka Oval. The margin back to 8 points. Can the Kangaroos hold on? Clark gets up high again. The ball went down to Harvey. Couldn't get it out of the pack. Bowed in there. Also Byron Pickett. But the umpire blows the whistle and will bounce again. Umpires officiating today. Number 4, Chris Mitchell. Number 7, Hayden Kennedy. Plenty of experience there. And number 27, Michael Avon. Clark again. The tap, Stevens in there. He has been sensational today. Goodwin gets another possession. That was number 23 for him, Bassett. Fisted away, though, by Colbert. Now the ball comes out for the Kangaroos. Underneath that, Harding. Adelaide have the numbers. Picked up by Bickley. Good peripheral vision to put it out wide to Edwards. Has a little bit of space. Has to get around Harris. Good to see him back onto the track after that high tackle. The ball goes out to Stenglein. And in turn, Matthew Bode. Now called to play on, launches into it. The left footer puts it inside 50. Everyone let it go. The umpire's seen a free kick. Advantage will be paid, and Glenn Archer storms out of defence.
Gets it long, looking for a target up forward, but there are only shorts there. Well, I don't mean football shorts, I mean players of not relatively big height.
That wasn't a good kick by Hutch. I mean, Hart v Harvey's is not a good matchup at this stage.
The other player there was Harris, so no marking targets for the Kangaroos. Hart bangs it back forward, plenty there. Burton the spoil at ground level. Goodwin. Burton, here come the Crows once again. Burton inside 50. Rashudo's got Archer out of position. Almost took it. Simpson does well. Very good in close is Adam Simpson. No one to kick to though. Burton pleading for it to stay in.
Just spreading his wings there, Matthew.
Oh, lovely call. And Clark, they kept it in somehow, the Crows. But unfortunately, the kick from Matthew Clark just suited Colbert. And a bit of panic from Lee Colbert there. He just kicked it straight out in the full. And that's rare for Lee Colbert to panic like that. He's got to go again. Oh, good mark, Rashudo. It was coming, wasn't it? He was due.
He's been presenting himself all day. The kicks have either been coming in too high, Russell, or he's been running underneath them. And I think Matthew called that one spot on.
And he's just presented himself all afternoon. And once again, the Crows are very disciplined and bang to that hot spot. And once again, it looks as though it's going to be a goal resulting in a discipline act on the ground.
Mark Rashudo hasn't been the goal kicker, but has been very dangerous. He only got 1 goal in the first quarter, but this, for their 5th goal in a row, to bring them within 2 points with plenty of time remaining. The skipper in his 200th game. And he drives it home.
You can see what type of player Mark Bickley must be held in high regard. Nearly everyone in the vicinity of 100 metres of his teammates have run straight towards him. I mean, he must be Mark Rashudo towards Mark after he kicked that goal. I know it's a big day for him, a big game for the club, but he must have some very special talents also.
Amazingly, only 2 points in it after the Kangaroos were leading by up to 5 goals during that third term. Goodwin couldn't take it, and the tempo's just lifted a little bit here at Manuka Oval. 17 minutes remaining in the final term. And it was the Kangaroos by 9 points at quarter time. They extended it to 21 points at half time. And as I mentioned, it got out to about 30 during that third term, but at three-quarter time it was 14 points. Now it is just 2 points as Bode gets it forward. Bass has been a big factor in this game. The ball stumped forward out towards Tyson Edwards. Robbins doing a good job. Was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. McCartney's been good in his 100th game for the Kangaroos. Good courage there by McLeod. Beautifully read though by Makepeace, and a sensational handball out to Byron Pickett, trying to get away from Benny Hart. Turned him inside out, did Byron. Now puts it inside 15, Harvey. Oh, I tell you what, Bickley can't believe it. He was wrong-footed as well, and that was great movement by the Kangaroos.
That was absolutely tremendous play. And how often do you see Benny Hart get turned inside at explosive pace? Knew exactly what was happening up the ground, and bang, nice and long to Harvey. And he is a noted goal kicker. And but getting back to the initial start, Makepeace's play, that was absolutely brilliant play.
He was very good in the midfield. This man has kicked 3-1 for the afternoon after starting on the bench. He's a dead-eye Dick, and he put that one through. That's his fourth, and the margin back out to 14.
They refuse to lie down, don't they? There's one thing the Roos have always had. I know they've had a sprinkling of all-time great players, but they have enormous courage and heart, and they've been very brave out here this afternoon. But there's still 20-odd minutes to go, and it's still anybody's game.
Yes, 8 points, and Pickett and Harvey involved.
Lang on for Harris.
Harris getting a message from the match committee. Lang has come on for him, and there we see just a couple of leans from Colbert and Bassett. Much needed goal for the Kangaroos. A little bit of breathing space, but still just under, well, just 15.5 minutes remaining, so plenty of football left in this game. Teague one-on-one with Goodwin. Goodwin's third quarter was excellent. Teague, Stevens, a little bit untidy. King, look away handball, they've lost it. So a couple of their senior players combining there. That's a wonderful handball by McLeod. He knew where that was going. Here's Clark, through traffic, caught, holding the ball. They've been consistent on that today, the umpiring.
Well, yeah.
They've given him a little bit of an opportunity, but there you go. The tackle was good, wrapping up his right arm, so he couldn't give it off. And rewarded for the tackle, David King. Kicks to a contest. He wants Burton, he wants a bit of height. Should have marked that, Spider. Play on. It falls to Harding. He goes inside 50. Would have been a magnificent quick goal from Harding, but it's not to be. It's just the behind. Margin 9.
Missed it. I mean, he made a crucial error there, too crucial. He missed the actual goal, and he had Harvey running inside, who could have just gone right up and gone bang. Unfortunate miss for the Roos.
Ben Hart to bring the ball back into play. The Kangaroos 13-12, Adelaide 12-9. And the margin just 9 points, as Matthew Campbell mentioned. Hart elects to kick to the outer side at this very picturesque Manuka Oval. Clark was up high, ball came to ground level. Free kick's been given, advantage paid. Clayton puts it inside 50. Good use of the body by Harvey to get rid of Hart. Couldn't get the football though. Now the handball goes out to Bickley. Spider Burton is there, so too Shannon Grant. But once again, the ball out of play about 30 metres away from the Kangaroos' goal. Just over 14 minutes remaining in the final term. And gee, they would feel somewhat robbed if they lost this, the Kangaroos. They have led at every change. Back in play, taking it Adam Simpson, dispossessed on the tackle. Number of players fighting for it at ground level. Tyson Edwards is in there. So too Tyson Stenglein, but once again, it's umpire Hayden Kennedy to perform his duties in the left forward pocket. Nigel Smart's had the job of looking after Severio Rocker all day. He's done it pretty well. Rocker's kicked 2-2. Unloaded a couple of massive kicks that were just offline. Clark up high again and goes for the safety of the boundary line.
In a situation like this where you've got, like, they're all like ants around a sugar bowl here, it'd be far better for the forwards who aren't involved to run away, open up, because backmen hate it when they've got space and they hate it when they've been isolated.
Every picture tells a story on the Jack Fingleton scoreboard. Hart cleared it. Teague, good tackle by Bode, and it's holding the ball, rewarded for the tackle. Good to see. 13-12-90, 12-9-81. Here's Burton flying and playing on quickly. A little bit of indecision now. Needs to distribute it well. Doesn't. They've got another opportunity. Perhaps a little bit high on Goodwin. Quick give. They keep it alive, Adelaide. King. And he's going to smother it.
Gee, that was great work over there on the boundary line then to really close his space down and then actually wrap him up. It was a tremendous play.
Ball in. Or ball up, I should say, by umpire Mitchell. Clark and Burton. Clark, almost very clever, but Simpson beat him to it. Then goes long, one-on-one Bickley and Harvey. There's been a change there. Hart with some time. Doughty, players loose on the wing, couple to choose from. Stenglein gives to Bickley. Bickley delivers long to the zone where they like to take a mark, but it's just dropped short on him in spite of standing in the way.
Wasted opportunity by Adelaide. Now Burton goes back with the handball, looking for Archer, measures the kick nicely to find Simpson. Every possession now becoming critical for both sides. Simpson kicks it down the middle of the ground. Digby Wolf was the... Oh, Digby Wolf. Digby Morrell. Digby Morrell.
Who cried Wolf? Kim Dillon did.
Bode brings it inside 50, and there's a grab taken by Welsh. Well, the man we talked about at three-quarter time, he has kicked 4 goals and a chance to kick his 5th. Let's go down to Rod Jamieson on the boundary.
Ground still very slick. We've had rain for most of the day. It is finding it difficult for players to keep their feet, but now there's a slight breeze which is favouring the Kangaroos end. So at the moment, all favouring difficult for Adelaide.
Welsh lines up. There's the reverse angle. As we mentioned, normally very accurate, and he's kicked his 5th. He's happy with that.
Matthew mentioned that he could have a big say in this, and that's his number. That's his 5th goal. So he's put his hand up in every quarter. So it's brought the lead back to only a couple of points.
Kim, from what I've seen of Welsh this year, this is a typical sort of game for him. He's getting a goal in most quarters. He's not kicking. Would that be correct that he's been consistent over the game?
Look, he's a clever player. He's got a high work rate. He's good in the air. And look, he's just been a revelation this year.
5 goals to Scott Welsh. 3 points the margin. 11.5 minutes remaining. Burton, Stevens still working. He's given that up though. He's searching forward and Bickley running. Momentum shift perhaps. Teague in the right spot. Over the back, the punch came forward. Adelaide with the numbers. Edwards. Dummies around, kicks it out to the lead and getting back. And Simpson, who's getting some possession in this last quarter. That's a fairly untidy kick by Simpson. Stevens gets a good shepherd from Archer, keeps Welsh out of the contest, now has to hit the body. Well, he did, and Makepeace dropped what he should have marked.
It's just crucial that we've seen that a couple of times today. Mark Stevens missed one early. When they're lay down Mazares, you should take those.
Seen a couple of classic finishes already in round 8. Collingwood over the Lions. Fremantle with Jeff Farmer after the siren. Perhaps again here at Canberra. Bassett, high ball. McCartney, good mark.
10th possession, Jason McCartney. He's been like the Rock of Gibraltar back there, very solid. In Bassett, still racking up the possessions. McCartney goes across the ground, taken by Shannon Grant. Had 2 bounces. The second one didn't come up. He had time to recover. Tried to pinpoint the pass out to Clayton. Good pressure by Burton. And the ball works its way over the boundary line. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Adelaide trailing by 3 points. And fortunately, the rain has disappeared here at Manuka Oval and the sun is out once again. The ball brought back into play. Bode picked it up. Been a quiet player today. Gave it out towards Goodwin. Just stopped, had a good look around, perused his options. Now it goes back towards Bode again. Having a good look. Puts it up towards the hot spot. Looking for Welsh, outnumbered, and Colbert takes the mark quite easily. Well, they didn't have the numbers there then, Russell.
No, they didn't, but it was great shepherding by McCartney. Then that was that magnificent piece of play to allow Burton to take Colbert to take the mark.
Colbert back out to Anthony Stevens. Now it's a race for pace. Massey is there, close to the boundary line. Was that a push in the back? Not according to the umpire. Lee Harding applying some good pressure there, and we'll have a throw in by the interchange gates. And we'll take another look at that. Well, in his side, given the benefit of the doubt, and that's probably fair enough. Matthew Clark to do the ruck work. Burton takes front position. Clark steals it. Clark got the tap down towards Grant. A very good handball out towards Harvey. Onto the right boot. Puts it up high. Burton underneath it. Loose ball taken by Morrell. Morrell with a long kick. That's a good one. Smart gets back there. The ball stays in play and eventually works its way over the line. Or did it? Well, the umpire said it was okay, so Nigel's off and running. He kicks it to himself. The ball sits beautifully. Big Sav's in pursuit. The crowd appreciating that. Then he does a bouncer, and it goes straight back towards Adam Simpson, who throws it on the left boot, and Byron Pickett gets underneath it.
Terrific play from both sides at the moment. Down to 9 minutes. Pickett, driving kick, spotted Clayton. That's a ripper. Wonderful kick from Pickett.
That was an absolute penetrating kick. But the interesting thing was that Morrell led his man out, which opened the space, and bang, in he goes and took the mark.
And Shane Clayton, who has kicked 5 goals in the last couple of weeks. He's already got 1 today. It's a pretty good afternoon. Possession number 17 coming up. He's had 7 marks. He would dearly love to kick his second goal. Shouldn't present a problem for him. He's a terrific kicker of the football. He's a goal kicker. He's a finisher. He loves to finish on the run, but from the reverse angle, that is what is ahead of him. Not a problem for Clayton. Breathing space for the Roos.
Well, that was a great kick by Pickett. And we see Sav come off the ground now, but I tell you what, there's one thing that coaches love, to see their forwards chase and harass. Big Sav never gave up the ghost once. He kept on going. Unfortunately, didn't get the smart. But by chasing him and putting that pressure on, it was a turnover. And that resulted in a goal.
And what has actually happened is there's a player standing on his own. Well, he was standing behind the goalpost.
New tactic.
The margin back out to 9 points as Clayton kicks his second goal. And it'll be Matthew Clark again, opposed to Burton. Anthony Stevens in there. Picked up 27 possessions already. Goodwin's had a bit of the football as well. Burton won the tap. The ball comes down towards Tyson Edwards. I mentioned before he loves to run. Does that and kicks around his body back towards Kane Johnson. In turn in the 1-2, it goes back to Tyson Edwards, measures the kick, and it's a good pass to find Stenglein, who fed it off quickly to Goodwin. Goodwin kicks it in. Welsh is the target. Couldn't take the mark. Bode took it off hands, and he's put it through. The margin back to 3 points here at Monica, and we have got a battle royal.
Well, that was absolutely, once again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but they always go for that hot spot. And Bode, he's front and centre there. The contest, no one marked it, ball brought to the front. Bode just reading the play perfectly. Magnificent kick there by Goodwin.
Beautiful spot. So Matthew Bode, with his 23rd possession, he's taken it inside 55 times. He's been a very good player once again. And Dennis Pagan, not happy with what he saw there. They're still in front by 3 points. Sensational game, goal for goal in this last quarter. Crows have been coming at the Kangaroos, but yet to get in front. Clark laying it down towards McLeod. Robbins cut in first. Stevens out of the centre again. Need a good bounce to Roos. Harris out in front of Nelson. Not sure about that, but still managed to get it forward. It's an open forward line. Massey, keep your feet. Morrell. Pickett went to ground. And going nowhere. So the pressure will build from here on in. 7.5 minutes remaining.
Interesting play by Massey then. You mentioned keep your feet. He had the support there. Had another 2 Adelaide players there. But the Cardinal sin went to ground. The ball brought back into play. Beautiful tap by Clark. Straight down to Goodwin. Gets onto a big torpedo punt. Puts it up midfield. King got up very high and got the big fist away. The ball comes down to Colbert. Wrapped up in a tackle. Was it high? Was it holding the ball? The umpire says this is too hard. We'll call that a dead heat.
I'll tell you, it would have been stiff if they pinged him for that. But once again, disciplined play by King. If you're caught behind and you can't mark it, hit it forward.
Umpire Chris Mitchell with the football. 7 minutes remaining in the final term here at Monica, and it's the Kangaroos leading by 3 points. And as I've mentioned, they have led from the opening bounce.
Words of advice from the skipper Stevens telling young Daniel Harris there.
Clark gets up high again. Burton won the tap. Ball comes down to ground and we'll have take 3. And now the clock runs down. 6.5 minutes remaining. Perry giving some instructions there as Glenn Archer moves back down onto Kane Johnson. So Rashuto's still down there. Teague looking after Rashuto now. There's been a few moves. Burton did well with his body. Got the big fist away. Byron Pickett gets the run of it. Paddling it forward was Ben Hart. Stevens in there. Smothered off the boot. Now Bickley. Good vision to put the handball out towards Massey. Got the kick out wide. Looking for Bodes underneath it. He's had 8 possessions this quarter. Ball comes to ground. It's a wrestle. Burton and McLeod. And it's a dead heat.
There's a couple of extremes. There's a big Spider and McLeod too. Spider did an absolutely brilliant job then in containing McLeod, not letting him get first use of the footy.
Clark over the top came Burton. He went for the smother, but Robbins got it forward. Morrell with Colbert, smart at ground level. Wants to go for a run. This time he's got Harvey chasing. It wasn't Big Sav. Gets the kick away though. Bassett with him Baird. Free kick Bassett, too high. A little bit ginger as he gets up, but he's got a fair few kicks today. That might be why. 22nd possession to the 50. And an easy mark for Glenn Archer. They've been pretty good across that half-back in this last quarter. They're getting extra numbers back. Archer. Spots a player in the middle. Has to be spot on. Teague. Play on. Touch.
It's a bit stiff.
Holding. He looks up, asks the question, and umpire Chris Mitchell says no. There was a Crow player in there first, and Ben Hart, and a great decision by umpire Chris Mitchell. So another ball up, but just inside the centre square. 3 points the margin. Clark trying to have an influence in this last quarter. McLeod wrestled to the ground, still managed to get it forward. Pickett smothers it. Going through somehow Bode. Pickett, second effort, brilliant. Burton, he wanted King to run there, so he just handballed it there. King with depth, one-on-one. Grant with Massey, it falls for Grant, very dangerous. It's got Harvey running for him, he gets inside, he clears himself and kicks a goal! Shannon Grant is first, but a very important one.
Very, very important. I mean, the boys who started on the bench, King, having a great say in that goal. And when Shannon Grant got that footy, I mean, he didn't panic. And this is what it's going to come down to. Blokes who get the footy in this last couple of seconds, they don't panic when they get the footy. And precisely, it's exactly what Grant did then. He didn't panic and kicked the goal. Cool heads under pressure are required now.
The margin back out to 9 points after a brilliant goal there by Shannon Grant. And once again, it was Massey who went to ground. Nobody could win the tap. Back centre field, going through strongly was Bode. Thumped it back to Doughty. Puts it up high. The Kangaroos have the numbers. Teague had front position. McLeod tried to pick it up. Didn't get it on the first attempt. Got it on the second, though. Goes towards an unprotected goal. And in fact, he's gone across the face of goal. And the ball is out of play in that left forward pocket. As the clock ticks down here at Monica Oval, we're inside 4 minutes and the margin back out to 9 points. Well, Adelaide keep posing the question and the Kangaroos have had the answers thus far. Clark gets it down, trying to look for Stenglein. He was waiting for Welsh. Eventually it goes to that player. Good tackle by Makepeace and he's taken over the boundary line. You just get the feeling they're not going to let this one go, the Kangaroos. They've worked too hard.
We've seen right from the first bounce, they've been very brave, strong and hard. Adelaide have come at them 3 times and each time they've repelled it and they've just got to hang on a few more minutes.
The ball's thrown in the left forward pocket. Another good tap by Clark. No one there to take it though. And a dead heat. Umpire blows the whistle. And that is umpire Chris Mitchell. Let's go down to the boundary. Rod Jamieson.
Both camps are real urgent to get their football forward, but at the moment everyone in the Kangaroos box are up and asking their players to come down and flood the Adelaide forward line.
Yeah, no one inside the attacking 50 for the Kangaroos. Harris just moving back there now. Well, they need a quick tap and a snap. Let's see what Clark can set up. He didn't get the tap. It got down to McLeod. Oh, he goes through a number of players. Quick handball. Gave it straight to to Stevens. Stevens puts it up high. Bassett is there. Oh, Archer came through strongly. Oh, there's a bit of carnage in his wake. Bassett is down, and he's not a well boy at the minute as the ball goes out towards the boundary line. Clayton taking plenty of time. Well, he had plenty of time. Got it back to Harvey. He goes underground towards the boundary line. Bassett down behind play. He was met solidly by Archer.
I'll tell you how hard Harvey's worked this afternoon. He was the bloke who kicked it centre-half back out to that wing, and he got across there to get the support to Clayton.
Archer storming through there, running with the flight of the ball, and really did cause that contest. But Adelaide moved forward once again. Inside their 50, Simpson under the pump, gets a good shepherd from Baird, gave him enough time to clear it. Little underground kick towards Harvey. Russell just mentioned his work. Another inside turn from Pickett. He goes the long torpedo. Tough ball to mark into the sun. Colbert was smart. With him Nelson. Colbert gets ridden into the ground by Burton. Ball up, 2.5 minutes. Crows have got to kick 2 goals.
But Lee Colbert mightn't have been the player he was prior to his knee reconstruction in the last couple of years in particular. But I tell you, that was absolutely brilliant work there in the way in which he pushed off and worked off against 2 fellas.
Plenty of players around the ball. Clark's been getting on top in the ruck all afternoon as the game has worn on. He's been tapping down at will. Free kick for the Kangaroos.
Colbert, I think.
Colbert. Dennis reaches for the water for a drink. And Lee Colbert. We've seen him. I mean, he is a long kick of the football.
He can kick it a long way.
Yeah, it is late in the game, but Nigel Smart is standing on the mark, virtually on the 50-metre number. So he's going to have to kick from about 55.
If they do win this, I mean, every side that's been belted in the press by the coach and by presidents, adverse media coverage, have really come out and responded this. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but this is what's happening so far.
Lee Colbert from 53, not going to make it, got right underneath it to the goal square. Down at ground level, Harris almost got a kick away. And as we probably expect in that situation, the Crows managed to force it through for a rush behind.
There's still time on this. There's a couple of minutes to go, but they've got to be very direct, long, hard kicks because they don't want to lose possession of the footy.
The re-entry all important, and Ben Hart decides to kick long right down the middle. Hart with a clever tap. Oh, Smart went without it. Big opportunity there. Now Tyson Edwards over the top to Kane Johnson in heavy traffic. Did he throw it? Not according to the umpire. Colbert does well to keep the ball in the area, and Adelaide with just a glimmer of hope then, and they couldn't capitalise on those opportunities. Great pressure by the Kangaroos. As the clock ticks away, we're down to 1 minute 40. Simon Goodwin in the hands of the trainers as well. So it's been a tough old encounter. Clark wins another tap, but there's no one there for Adelaide. Clayton's been a good player. This man Harvey's been very good since coming off the interchange bench, and there's loose players everywhere. And Lee Harding has the football, likes to run with it. We saw that earlier. He's had 2 bounces, and it's a nice looking kick, is it? Searching for Colbert, who just couldn't make up the ground.
It might not have looked pretty, but it's the smart kick and the option to get it boundary side. Waste a bit of time with the clock. If you didn't hit the body, you had to put it to the boundary side to
no
wipe
doubt
it off.
about that. Adelaide leading some clean possessions. 1 minute 17 left on the clock, and the margin is 10 points. Well, Clark is the master at the tap. He has front position, tried to feed it down towards Edwards. Massey was there, great pressure being applied. Daniel Harris picks it up, snaps around his body. There's another point, so the margin out to 11 points. And one would think that this will probably be enough for the Kangaroos. And if they do win this game, I tell you what, it's been a hard-fought victory.
Well, Hart has it. 2 straight kicks needed. Clark the target. 2 straight kicks in a minute. Bode, Stengline, second effort. Rashudo running down the ground. Edwards need a marking target. It's got to hit the body. It doesn't. Teague, who has covered very well all afternoon off his half-back flank, cuts across well. A timely mark.
He's been very good all afternoon. He's courageous, backs himself.
Kick. Smart kick. And Lee Harding will wipe the clock off.
Reminds me of another bloke, Gary Cowton, who used to play many years ago. Teague, a look-alike, same type of build, plays the same type of hard, straight-ahead football.
He's told to kick now, but he's managed to wipe 20 or 30 seconds off the clock. Kicks to a contest, Burton at the back, Clark over the top, down at ground level, Morrell forces it for Robbins, little gift at Grant. Can he put the icing on the cake right at the death? He can! game to finish with Shannon Grant, one of the players who were questioned. Lovely little give from Ben Robbins on the up. Morrell forcing it forward. Robbins gets the call. Grant knows how to finish off. And this celebration says it all. We've won.
Look, it's an amazing thing, football. I mean, 1 week you feel absolutely low and you don't want to play footy again. Then you come back out, you redeem yourself, and you can just see by that reaction. And all those 4 boys who started on the bench have been super this afternoon.
And the opposite reaction from the opposite coach in Gary Ayres when that went through.
Gary Ayres, well, he knew there was a big opportunity to get the 4 points today, but Dennis Pagan, we mentioned, as the siren sounds, and the Kangaroos have got over the line. It's been a very committed effort to win by 17 points. And you mentioned, Matthew, at the start of the game, that Dennis Pagan seemed a man pretty happy with his preparation and pretty comfortable with himself.
They let them go out and play. They did what they know they can do. They were hard at the footy. They were committed, as you just mentioned, Russell. And they did play like the Kangaroos that we know that can play, especially some of their more senior players.
You hit it on the head. I mean, they looked as though they enjoyed themselves out there this afternoon, particularly those 4 boys who are on the bench. And I tell you what, they were brave right from the start and right to the end. The unfortunate thing for the Crows is that there was a huge opportunity to go to equal top of the ladder. And the Roos winning this afternoon pushes them up closer today, so they had to win, the Roos.
One of those players that was very good for the Kangaroos with 4 goals is Brent Harvey. He's with Rod Jamieson.
Brent, well done. It's been a tough week for you, and not only yourself but the whole team.
Yeah, it has. We, we had a bit of match practice during the week, get our hardness back, and the guys lifted today. Shannon Grant was terrific. Byron Pickett, David King. So it's good to see him back today.
I guess the way you went about training the whole week was quite physical. I mean, it was right from the outset. It just for the whole game, just really persevered. Players running off, wanting to shepherd, and particularly, I guess, the 4 players and yourself and a couple of others that players really rallied and got around.
Yeah, it's good to see, all the guys get support from the teammates. That's what it's all about. You play for your mates, and it's good to see them come through today.
Monica Oval, enjoy playing here?
Yeah, it's good. I think we've only lost 1 game here, so might try to get a few more games up there, eh?
Okay, Brent, well done.
Thanks.
When the weekend's over, win, lose or draw, the place to see how your team fared is on The Winners.
Welcome to The Winners, where you give us 60 minutes and we give you the weekend in AFL.
That was one of the inspired wins of the club history.
They'll learn to play basketball at Colonial. Join Clinton Graves for every winning kick, mark and goal of the round. That's on The Winners, tonight at 7:30.
Go Harvey Norman, your printer specialist. For a crisp finish on plain paper and excellent economy, you need a laser printer from our range. The simple yet fast Samsung ML1210 is perfect for the home or small office for only $549. The reliable Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 1200 has a super high 1200 DPI resolution for just $799. The powerful Lexmark E322 is built for speed, printing an amazing 16 pages per minute for only $899. When you need a laser printer, go Harvey Norman, your printer specialist.
There may not be much to laugh about these days.
Get that finger up, will you?
So be thankful for Full Frontal.
Come to think of it, I am.
A sketch series that picks up
Dad, move your head.
where Fast Forward left off.
Very impressive.
Then again, what's the point in trying to compare?
It strikes me that this topic really is as boring as all bad shit.
Full Frontal weekdays 4:30 only on the Comedy Channel.
In May, Fox 8 gets dark,
I need to get my ass kicked once in a while, just to keep me real.
dirty,
How much did that kiss cost you? Another $50?
romantic,
I know this girl from high school. This is Susan. This is
Felicity.
Fox 8 is dramatic,
I felt more passion in the last hour than I have collectively in my whole life.
twisted,
When did you start dating?
Oh, about 5 years ago. Right after you.
retro,
I believe that everyone's political opinion is valid and worth hearing.
Use that line when you run for Miss America.
Fox 8 is revealing,
Oh my God. The guy was a virgin.
tough,
I swear to God, I will rip your shoulder out. Do you understand me? I understand you, Rob. I don't hear you.
buffed, daily.
There's something bad out there. We'll find. You'll slay. We'll party.
You need it, we've got it. May on Fox 8.
Trains don't. Only the other afternoon I was stuck down. How many hours? Maybe it was, actually, it was an hour and a half.
And eventually we got out there. We couldn't get buses because the buses were full. They hadn't laid in on any special buses, and so as a result, everybody tried to find taxis, and because we were all on the same route, we were walking down the same road, nobody could get a taxi. I don't know how it happened.
This is what you've seen on Fox Footy News. Just see him arriving.
Recent reports surrounding so-called hush money.
Mr. Tony I told you Tim Lane has walked out on Channel 9.
This far outweighs any traditional clashes in Melbourne.
Forcing multiple offenders.
Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you more than just headlines.
Have a look at it.
To escape the Melbourne spotlight.
David Rodden.
Fox Footy News, 7:30 weeknights on your home of football, Fox Footy Channel. Yes, the Kangaroos, margin, 17-point victors. They led at every change. Welsh got 5 and Rashuda got 2 for Adelaide, but Harvey 4, Rocker 2, Clayton 2 and Grant 2. The final score 16-14, 110 to the Adelaide Crows 14-9, 93. And as the Kangaroos warm down, we'll take another break and return with more from Manuka Oval.